ready to go for what should be a good one here from Elizabeth. The 8-1 Cardinals, the 7-2 Moffat County Bulldogs made the trek all the way up here this afternoon for the first round of the 2A playoffs. Number 5 meets number 12, and it should be a very entertaining matchup. Avery gets you along with Sam Johnson. You know, Elizabeth was in a similar situation last year. They were at home. They played a team that they really didn't know a whole lot about, Montezuma Cortez. Everybody had in their head, we're going to win, we should be fine. Spoiler, they lost. Now they're trying to win, finally, a home playoff game, and they're trying to do it against a team who has not won a playoff game since 2004. It should be a very, very interesting matchup. One of these streaks is going to be broken. Sam, the mentality has changed a lot. What has changed?
Yeah, well, Moffat County took a nearly 5-hour trip out here, and they face a much more unified group. 12 seniors who have just played brilliant ball all season. And the difference from last year, heading into this game in terms of mindset and attacking-wise, don't turn the ball over. 4 turnovers against Montezuma Cortez, and of course that game-sealing pick 6. That's what sealed it. So I'm sure that's in the back of the minds of some of these players, but such a great season, and they can't see it ending today.
Yeah, it wound up being the last game for Jason Weber at the varsity football level. He was replaced by Gavin Garcia. Weber, his first touchdown came against Moffat County way back in 2020. It's the first time since 2004 that they had played, and now it's going to be the second time. Gavin Garcia has played a lot different style of football than Weber did. We saw Weber, taking a lot of passes in the pocket. He would go out of the pocket when he was running. That was about it, and he ran the ball a lot more. Garcia on the other side, he's not afraid of running the ball, but he goes out of the pocket a whole lot more, and when he runs, it's more situational running. Is that something that's going to be a factor today, the difference between Weber and now, or what's going on?
Well, all season it's been that situational running, giving him the option to either use his legs or throw the ball. And Malachi said pregame, we're not sure how throwing the ball is going to work out today. It's been a struggle all year, so they're comfortable running the football. And obviously Connolly had a great game last week against TCA. Gavin Garcia 4 rushing touchdowns. So the ground game is there, and it's a very comforting thought. And so we'll see if they decide to throw the ball. I think they will have to against a higher-level opponent like Moffat County. We'll see.
Yeah, Mariscal had a nightmarish game last year. He had not caught a pass in the final 8 weeks of the season, and then he hadn't caught a pass in the playoff game, muffed a pair of punts, and really the big kicker in that game was the turnovers. Weber had the pick 6, Mariscal had 2 muffed punts, and there was also a drop snap. Kickoff is next after the introduction of Elizabeth. Hells Bells is cranking. The stadium getting ready to start shaking, hopefully. The Elizabeth Cardinals, for perhaps one final time, will come out on this home field in the year 2023. The motorcycles, the team, the tenacity, all on the line. A winner will be decided within the next 2.5 hours. And now, here come the Cardinals. The senior Jackson Zander with the American flag. The senior Ethan Stone with the Cardinal flag. Coaches have emphasized coming out hot, getting ready to start playing games as early as possible, you know, breaking in those warm-ups and really being able to just kind of go out there and finish. It's been a storyline we followed all season as how the Cardinals start hot. Well, they did it last week by only running the ball. A long drive took up almost half the first quarter. Every single play on it was a run, ended in a rushing touchdown.
And I think they can rely on that today, the running game, obviously throwing some passing situations as well. But we can mention it again, turning the ball over is not an option today, at least not doing it 4 times. And a lot to be motivated for this afternoon if you're Elizabeth.
A lot of motivation, a lot of almost wanting redemption from last year. Cooper Connolly all season had talked about what happened in the last game of the year. Of course, he wasn't as productive as he'd like to be, but he mentioned it was bigger than he was. It was bigger than any player was. It was just failure to win. The same thing happened against Kent Denver. There wasn't one person to blame. There wasn't one position to blame. It was just a kind of whiff of playing football. Of course, a lot of that came in the secondary. The secondary is going to have their work cut out for them. A name you'll hear a lot is Ian Hafey on the other side for the Moffat County Bulldogs. He leads in both rushing and receiving, listed as a tight end despite that. How do they stop the 6'4", 200-pound senior?
Yeah, he has 2 100-plus rushing games. You mentioned the leading receiver. He runs varsity track, plays varsity basketball. He's an elite athlete, and he will be a big name to call on for Evan Beaver at quarterback. How do they stop him? Well, the secondary needs to step up. We saw against Kent Denver they got burned. Ever since that Kent Denver game, they played with a different style, a different level of tenacity. So that is a player to watch, but I think they won't have too much trouble minimizing some of his impact.
And, of course, the guy throwing him the ball, Evan Beaver, the 6'2 senior, who is finally getting full time. He was backing up senior Court Murphy last year, and then this year has played all games starting. What's he going to have to do to take down this vaunted front four?
He needs to play a clean game, and his offensive line needs to step up. Make a pocket for him, allow him to throw to his talented receivers. In terms of turning the ball over, he threw an interception in each of the first 5 games of the season. Hasn't thrown an interception in the previous 4, so he's turned it around in terms of protecting the football. That'll be a story for Evan Beaver.
Under 9 minutes to go before the opening kickoff of this one. Couple notable inactives. The senior Alden Kaiser has a concussion, so he usually comes out on PAT, some kickoffs. He will be out. Walker Blanchard is also inactive once more. Up next, the national anthem.
Is the Elizabeth American Legion.
The American Legion tees us off for what should be a pretty darn good game between Moffat County and Elizabeth. And just to note, Moffat County is a 3-loss team, but they've lost some big games. We'll get ready to meet the Cardinal offense and touch on that in a second.
Number 11, Cass Randall. Number 12, Kevin Garcia. Number 27, Ethan Stowe. Number 32, Cooper Conley. Number 55, Jackson Zander. Number 56, Kate Long. Number 65, Riken Angel. Number 72, Levi Lawrence. Number 75, Jake Blakewood. And number 2, Trenton Miller. Head coach, Michael Zisk. Officials for tonight's game, referee Doug Wall, umpire Chris.
Those are the names. This is the story. Just to look again at Moffat County and their 3 losses. One of them came against Res Christian, who is one of the best teams in 3A. They only lost by 14. Ended up beating Basalt, who's facing off against TCA in an hour. And so it's not a team that the Cardinals should take lightly.
Not at all. And Evan Beaver, his worst performance of the year was against Resurrection Christian, but it was only a 14-0 loss. And of course, they beat Basalt, as you mentioned. Basalt, a higher-seeded team in the bracket at an 8 seed hosting TCA.
Of course, only letting up 14 to Res Christian means that Moffat County is a pretty darn good offense, or pretty darn good defense, rather. The Elizabeth offense has been struggling a little bit the past couple of weeks, minus TCA, with being able to find their rhythm a little bit. Obviously, they've scored a ton of points. Obviously, they've won games by double digits, but it's just about finding out a way to finish. Have they figured that out?
Yeah, well, we know what the run game can do. We saw that last week against TCA, but if the passing game can get going as well, and you have both attacking options flowing, they're impossible to beat.
We'll see how impossible they look to beat. Out there for the Cardinals, Connolly, Randall, Angel, and Zander, which is the usual you see out there, and so we'll see in a matter of moments which side the coin toss goes to. Student section is certainly present. There are about 8 people right now in the stands for the student section. Gotta hope that that is not a running trend. Coin toss goes in the direction of Elizabeth,
Cardinals won the toss.
who have elected to defer. So, we will see Moffat County getting the football first, and of course this is going to be a game, Sam, deciding how many drives can you finish off on. How big would it be for Moffat County to score on their first one?
It would be massive, and Evan Beaver has the weapons to do that and catch Elizabeth off guard early. But this Elizabeth defense, especially that defensive front, proved that they can be a force, a deadly force, as they've shown against TCA.
Yeah, the defensive front, most of them are also on the offensive front. Levi Lawrence, the only one that doesn't play both sides of the ball there. And the offensive front helped add 400 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns rather, and the just clear wipe of TCA, which I don't think anybody had expected going into it. Certainly not when the game ended had they expected it. The O-line needs to put up a great performance. They've done it in every game, minus maybe Kent Denver, but even then, they held Tripp Skuse, who's 6th in the country in sacks, to only 1 all game. So how big is it going to be right now facing a very big Moffat County team to win up front?
Yeah, notably for the offensive line, that left side comprised of 2 seniors, Riken Angels, Jackson Zander. They will have to perform, and then, of course, Levi Lawrence snapping the ball. We'll see if he can have a clean game as well. But if they can be rolling, make the correct blocks, and protect their quarterback, and put pressure on Evan Beaver, it should be a difficult game for Moffat County.
If you're superstitious, last year Elizabeth was wearing red and white, their other home option for uniforms in the 21-7 loss to Montezuma Cortez. Now they're in black and white. Mariscal has it on the tee. He's been so good at kicking in the second half of the season. This one's not bad, taken at the 5-yard line. And now it's going to be a throw to the other side of the field. No one's covering it. And this is a bad start to the game for the Cardinals. 30, 35, and finally wrapped up at the 44. Cash Randall was saving that one because it was a quick pass to Bryant Carlson. And They will start at midfield, will Moffat County.
Well, Moffat County obviously not favored, a 12th seed heading into this game on the road, and they're not going to be afraid to pull out some tricky plays and try whatever they can to defeat Elizabeth.
Yeah, expect a lot of kind of trickeration out from Moffat County today. That might be the early ticker of it, as we'll take a look at Evan Beaver and what he's done at quarterback. 20 total touchdowns, 8 picks. It's been an interesting story to follow for Moffat County.
Yeah, certainly has had a great year, and you mentioned him taking over full responsibility this year as quarterback. He's had some struggles, but he's led Moffat County to a 7-2 record and a playoff spot.
Just to add bad to worse, there was a personal foul penalty, so the Bulldogs start at the 40-yard line of the Bulldogs. And this is not at all the start you want, and we'll see how the tone sets early. First play is a pitch, and there's Ian Hafey, the strong runner, carrying Maristel for a first down to the 29-yard line. And that's a great way to start the game.
Well, I may have downplayed Hafey a little bit in pregame, but he is certainly going to be a problem this afternoon.
Yes, he is. He's, again, second in the team in rushing yards, leading in receiving yards, listed as a tight end. He really just kind of does everything. And it's an immediate first down on the first play of the game. Play number 2 coming up. Nearing in on the red zone. Here's a fullback give that doesn't go for anything. And there's the Cardinal rushing defense. Zach Hedman, who does lead in rushing, goes for maybe 1.
Yeah, Zach Hedman averages nearly 10 yards a carry. Nothing there for him, but
Jackson Zander with the tackle there. The Elizabeth front had just annihilated TCA in the rushing game. Also was great at getting to the quarterback. Sent a lot of heavy pressure. Here's another run. Hafey again. Tries the left again. Hafey, it takes 3 guys to bring him down. He picks up 4. Brings up 3rd and medium. Well, of course, we talked about how big that this game is going to be on Elizabeth, so why not make the impact player, well, just about everyone.
That's the whole team this afternoon. Notably, the offensive and defensive lines. What can they do up front? You see they've just been stout defensively. That'll be a big storyline this afternoon, and ringing the bell after the win against University early this year.
Big third down to the right side. It's Hafey again, carrying 3 Elizabeth defenders. They went a little bit quickly to get up to the line. There's a flag down, and already backing up are the Bulldogs. At the end of that clip there, you saw the Cardinals ringing the bell after their win against University, which a lot of them credited to be their biggest win of the year by far, at least at home. They're looking to tack that on now. Big penalty, that's an offensive hold. And kind of a break caught quickly by the Cardinals.
Third down 14 for Moffat County.
It's now 3rd and 14, and Sam, will we see our first pass?
I think they should not be afraid to pass. Evan Beaver is a capable quarterback. They've kept it on the ground with Champ Haffey, but we'll see here.
Expect the first throw of the game. It is out to his left. Beaver, immediate pressure, and he's picked off. Ethan Stone hops in front of the route, and the Cardinals get the football right back.
Number 27, Ethan Stone.
It's an errant throw by Evan Beaver, and the senior Stone with a huge takeaway on a developing drive for Moffat County.
First interception of the game for him. He has not been racking up defensive stats. He just did. Great pick there and kind of a bad read as well. So out comes Gavin Garcia in the offense, and we'll see how well they can move against Moffat, starting at the 21. First play from scrimmage, toss to the right. Connolly still churning. Cooper Connolly picks up 4. And again, those are 4 hard-fought yards for Connolly.
It certainly was. He's a hard runner. And the 2 stories last week for Elizabeth on the ground were Gavin Garcia and Cooper Connolly. Cooper Connolly's been the story all year, really.
Had another 100-yard rushing game, had the final touchdown that really put the game away to make it 35-0 before TCA got insurance points in that one. He's done that a lot. He's got a lot of put-away plays, most of them coming from long distance, but usually early in the game you'll see him running pretty short. Here's a keeper for Garcia. Stiff arm to the left, and he'll be wrapped up. After only picking up 1, brings up 3rd down and 4. Well, Gavin Garcia last week, we talked about it. Great birthday for him. Great game for him as well.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns. Just outstanding what he was able to do against TCA, and I think that run game can easily be carried into this afternoon.
And we talked to Garcia after the game, asked him, where does this rank in terms of overall birthdays? He said that was number 1. Hard not to when you have 4 rushing touchdowns. Mariscal lines up on the far side of the field. 3rd and 3, Garcia throws to the right, and it's dropped by Randall. Cash Randall has had so many drop problems this season, especially against big teams. He had a lot against Kent, a couple against University. There's one there.
Randall is sure runner, though. Lots of big plays this year. I'm surprised they didn't keep feeding Connolly on this opening drive here. Connolly, of course, 12 100-plus yard games.
Would you have run it there on a 3rd and 3?
I think you certainly should have.
Connolly's going to punt. We've got a flag, and did someone jump?
Offense coming back out.
Yeah, that's an illegal shift. That is killer. And so the offense will come back out on the field. Let's meet them real quick.
Gavin Garcia, senior, a.k.a. Goggles. Cooper Conley, a.k.a. Coop, senior. Cash Randall, a.k.a. C-Bams. Did you pray today? Malachi Mariscal, a.k.a. Schmiel, senior. Dyson Lindsay, senior, FIWB.
Ethan Stone, senior, a.k.a. Frank and Angel, senior, Running Creek Elementary.
Jackson Sander, a.k.a. Jesse, senior.
Levi Lawrence, a.k.a. Levy, junior. Caden Long, a.k.a. Long, junior. Drake Brinkworth, junior, Running Creek Elementary.
So Randall, I'm sure, feels a little bit of satisfaction there because his drop will result in a first down when it's all said and done. At least that's what it'll say. And the stat sheet is Garcia goes backwards, loses 2. Another quarterback keeper in that one they were all ready for.
Some breakthroughs at the line for Moffat County, but groans on their side. You turn the ball over on a good opening drive and then jump on a 4th and 3 when you would have gotten the ball back.
12th TFL of the season for Clayton Vandersloot. And so in this pretty surprising opening quarter, a lot of things have happened. Garcia lines up with 2nd and 13. Almost jumping again with the Bulldogs. Handoff, Stone. Ethan Stone has really improved in running the ball this season and this second portion of it, and there he's got 7 or 8. They'll actually give him 10, brings up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, Stone with nearly 60 carries on the year, 4 touchdowns rushing. He's been a part of that 3-headed attack in the backfield.
And immediately we hear the name Ian Hafey with the tackle there. That's tackle number 44 for him on the season. He has 14 TFLs and 10 sacks, which is just incredible. 3rd and 2. Garcia stumbles as he gives it to Connolly, and there goes Cooper Connolly. 40, 30, Connolly to the house, touchdown. That's how it starts.
Excellent work from the offensive line, and Cooper Connolly, so explosive, has no trouble taking that the distance.
Broke right through the line as Garcia fell down on the handoff. He's got to be happy when he looked up and saw Connolly 40 yards down the field. And I mentioned earlier on this drive how Connolly, you don't see many long runs from him early. There's one on the opening drive, aided by penalty. Mariscal to add on the PAT. And he is good. He has 3 straight weeks of not missing. And Malachi Mariscal is true again.
Mariscal has found his true form at the right time kicking. And what a play by Cooper Connolly on a play that looked to be dead from the start. We looked at last week.
Yeah, we talked about how big the rushing attack was, and you mentioned how the play looked dead from the start. A lot of that had happened last week. A lot of broken tackles, missed tackles, especially by Connolly.
Certainly. And, I mean, what a switch from Moffat County developing drive to Elizabeth in the end zone, and there was the game sealing, as if it wasn't sealed already, play by Dyson Lindsay.
Yeah, the interception. Put a post out yesterday talking about how he kind of felt like he found his true calling with football. Not like there was anything against what he had done the earlier 2 years with soccer, but it was just what he felt like he should be doing, and he's found a brotherhood with his team. That brotherhood has just put up the first 7.
Yeah, Lindsay has said that this is the most fun he's had playing a sport. You can see why.
Beaver threw his first interception in 4 weeks, rather, after throwing an interception in each of the first 5. How does he come back out here?
Well, he needs a couple completions to find his rhythm early, for sure.
Here comes the kick by Mariscal. That one a little squibber. So we'll see if they try the run. It's dropped. So this ball is live and finally picked up. They're going to have to figure something out. Watch out! He's in his own end zone safety! What is he doing? Oh, no!
Adolfo Jimenez, disaster class on that return. Unbelievable, the senior with a critical mistake.
And Elizabeth will get the ball right back. Wow, I mean, that's rule number 1. You touch a drop kickoff, you don't run backwards.
Wow. I was just about to mention we shouldn't be too comfortable yet with a 7-0 lead. Elizabeth was up 7-0 on Montezuma Cortez last year, but now the safety, everything switches.
And now, of course, there will be a safety punt. That's the second safety we've seen this season, both off of big blunders. The first one was a snap over the head against University that put that game away. This one 9-0 early, and of course the big story now is Gavin Garcia, Cooper Connolly in the offense will come back out.
Adolfo Jimenez, the main kick returner. That is his 11th kick return attempt of the year. Averages nearly 15 yards a return. He's had a good year returning. That is a terrible mistake in a playoff game.
That one will go down for -2 yards on the return, and as you mentioned, terrible mistake indeed. Something that Elizabeth is no stranger of on both sides of the ball.
No doubt, and again, you go back to last year, the 4 turnovers, exactly what they had to avoid. Today, so far, it's gone quite swimmingly.
Well, Cesar Casada and Paul Dorworth both have kicked off over 20 times, but Evan Beaver, the quarterback and the cornerback, is out there kicking on the punt here. And that is just a dud. Oh, my goodness. McCrae will watch it bounce out of bounds, and Elizabeth will have the ball at the 45-yard line. So another bad kick, and of course it's a little bit of a windy day. That one was just rough.
Yeah. And Beaver, a very dynamic player. Of course, you mentioned on the defensive side of the ball as well. Punting, and then of course the starting quarterback.
We've been blessed with very good weather this afternoon. 61 and sunny. The wind is pretty moderate right now. Shouldn't be too bad kicking. But obviously that may have played a factor there because the ball just went straight up in the air. As the offense comes back out on the field of the 48. And a flag is down. Oh, Chassa refs. Still regulated by Chassa, and that's a free kick out of bounds as it should be. So again, bad turns to worse.
Yeah, Moffat County, their situation looked so promising at the beginning, and now a turnover, a safety conceding a touchdown, it's all changed.
Garcia lines up in the gun. 5 receivers. Garcia looking to throw. He comes up short. Randall makes the catch that time, but will lose 2. And Garcia was staring Randall down on that play.
Pass complete to number 11, Cash Randall.
So, second and long again. They had that earlier. They converted into a 3rd and short, which ended up turning into a touchdown. Do you throw the ball again? I mean, we've seen 2 short throws. We think that might be kind of a running trend so far. What would you do?
I don't think you test the waters yet. It's early. You have a lead. Try to score on this drive, run the ball, and build up a lead before you really try anything too audacious.
The only guy outside of the line is Mariscal. Here comes Connolly. Cooper Connolly has been the go-to guy all 4 years. He got some hand fighting on the other side with Trenton Miller there. And he's the go-to guy again this year.
No doubt. I mean, 4-year varsity player. He's led rushing most of those years. Just a fantastic player. And on 3rd and 5, now wouldn't be surprised if they go to him again.
Brings up a 3rd down and 5 and a big one. Of course, you might expect he would go for it as well. This looks like 4-down territory at the 38. Stone's the motion man. Here's Randall. They love this counter because Cash Randall can get space, and he's got enough for a first down. Gain of 7 or 8 or 9. They'll give him 11 on that carry.
11 for number 11. And what a year Cash Randall has had, Avery. Just exploding as a senior.
Has obviously been the number 2 so far, with Connolly being the surefire number 1. Stone was kind of the number 2 the years earlier. He's taken a bit of a backseat, though. Don't expect him to not do anything today because he is still a very, very good player. Garcia. Quick throw high, caught by Mariscal, who's wide open. And the touch pass will put the Cardinals in the red zone. A gain of 11 puts them at the 14. And another first down.
It's a nice short completion and a good route by Malachi.
Midway through quarter number 1, Adolfo Jimenez with the tackle. And we kind of talked about how last year Elizabeth, prepared to usher in a new series of players, that there's a flag down and this one's going to be backed up. So again, another penalty. We've seen a lot of alumni so far here today. Of course, Ronnie Wagner we saw out there. He was the center before Lawrence replaced him. It feels like this is the year where every single senior that left has a good replacement.
It certainly does. I mean, just a complete revamp of the team. Even better than last year in some respects.
A lot of the players now, I'm sure, would agree it's going to be very different next year, which we can talk about a little bit later. Connolly picks up 3, and that'll bring up second down and 11.
Number 23, Ian Hafey.
Hafey again with the tackle. Hafey, I mean, he's been everywhere on the field today. How are you able to neutralize a guy who's so much taller than anyone else on the field?
Well, you can't, but you can limit him, and he's so big defensively and offensively. Clearly a player that, if neutralized, would leave Moffat County scrambling.
Late stages first quarter, Cardinal drive resumes or continues after the safety. Here's Randall on the pitch. Cash Randall looking for space. There he goes inside the 10, 5, touchdown!
Number 11, Cash Randall in for Cardinal, touchdown!
There is a flag down, an early indication as this one's coming back. Well, Cash Randall once again, powerful. Now over 700 rushing yards on the season if it stands.
So his 11th touchdown of the year possibly wiped out here.
And it looks like it is. It's an offensive hold. And it's on Mariscal maybe? Hard to hear the officials from here. So it spotted a foul, so the Cardinals technically still gained yards, but of course they lost out on the touchdown.
That's a massive break for Moffat County, who have quickly fallen behind, and they need a stop.
15-yard line. This is where usually you'd see some quick throws to Mariscal try to hit it in the end zone, but he's not out there. Do you run it?
I think you do.
So do they. Stone to the 9-yard line. And again, production, the ball's out. Popped out, and it's recovered by Elizabeth.
Moffat County has caused quite a few fumbles this year.
Is that something to worry about?
I think Elizabeth has done well protecting the ball on the ground. Connolly, Stone, and Randall very sure-handed.
Cardinals second down and 4 to the Bulldog 9-yard line.
So the ball's at the 9. You can get a first down without getting a touchdown, but it's a difference of 5 yards. Mariscal is back in the game. Stone and Connolly are in the backfield. Might see another run here. Everybody bunched up, and it is Connolly, and there he goes again. Cooper Connolly spinning, diving, and he's down at the 1. Goodness, he's just so powerful.
And then makes it first and goal. And I think you go right back to Connolly here. Hurry up, punch it in, and they will.
We've seen a couple of these situations where Garcia keeps it, too. That's how he scored 9 of his 10 touchdowns on goal line keepers. The other one was a keeper from about 12 yards out. And he'll sneak. We've never seen a Garcia sneak, but when we do, it's a touchdown. That's a good one to keep in the bag. And wow, I mean, this is just stunning.
What a start. And everything shifted after that Evan Beaver interception.
Of course, the penalty to boot, too, on the foul that was going to be a punt resulted in a first down. Connolly scored later. And then the safety, and all momentum has shifted, and Elizabeth will line up to go for 2. Things look a lot different than they did last year in the first round of the playoffs. Pitch to Randall. Randall with the edge. Flag is down. Randall is across.
Number 11, catch Randall.
But again, there is a flag.
Penalty on the play.
Well, we've seen a lot of flags so far today. And it looks like this one might be coming back as well.
Holding against the Cardinals.
And it is. It's an offensive hold again. So do you still go for 2 now? I mean, you're backed all the way up, and you're kind of out of PAT range.
I wouldn't say they're out of range. I think Malachi has a decent leg. There is some question in that
2 point
area.
Starting 13-yard line of the Bulldogs.
But wow. I mean, this is a deep 2-point conversion.
Well, I mean, it's all for 2 points, so you can't fear too much. Try to hit the end zone. I'd assume a pass here, no?
Certainly.
Mariscal lines up far on the near side. Stone in a slot to the left. They will throw. Garcia staring down Mariscal. Lobs it. Back of the end zone. Jump ball, and it's knocked away. And incomplete, and so the score will stay a very normal 15-0.
I like the play call there, though. Give Malachi a chance, give Garcia a chance to make the big connection through the air. I like the play call. It doesn't work out, but, I mean, it's 15-0.
One thing we're noting so far today is how many different styles of play we've seen from Elizabeth. They're breaking out a lot of plays we don't usually see them do. A quarterback sneak. That lob in the back of the end zone to Mariscal usually goes on the other side of the field. Is it a new playbook?
I think it was just 2 interesting situations. You don't normally have a 2-point conversion starting at the 13-yard line, and nor do you have a 1-yard rush at the goal line. I like the QB sneak call. Surprised that they haven't called that more this season.
Right.
Works out there.
That was rushing touchdown number 11 for Garcia. And he has scored a rushing touchdown in each of the past 3 games, including 4 last week, as we mentioned. 3 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Of course, the last kickoff was a safety. Adolfo Jimenez went all the way back. The first kickoff was a bizarre pass backwards, something you'd see in maybe college. Of course, you could see it in high school, but we just haven't this year.
Yeah, what do you anticipate here?
Oof. Only time will tell. Of course, the safety punt, too, went about 5 yards before going out of bounds, so it actually went for negative yards with the penalty. Another squib. Jimenez taking it this time. Trying to use the speed to the outskirts, and will get to the 26-yard line.
Malachi's kick returned by number 2 Adolfo Jimenez.
And that is where Moffat County will take over. Well,
Was out of bounds.
interesting first quarter so far. Interesting style of play on both sides of the ball. Are you surprised that Moffat County on their opening drive had only thrown it once in what was an interception?
Yeah, well, they ran the ball so efficiently with Champaffy, but they need to get Evan Beaver involved through the air on this drive.
Needs 10 yards to eclipse 1,800. As we get ready here for a moment, there's an inside give that goes for nothing. And again, the Cardinals are just swarming all over the line. And I mean, this is stunning, is it not?
It is incredibly stunning, and Moffat County cannot afford this drive to stall too quickly.
We're going to have a quick pause after the 3-yard loss just so we can fix the battery situation here, which, of course, we apologize for. 2nd and 13. Beaver in the gun, and so far Elizabeth has done a good job nullifying. 4 on the line for the Cardinals. Beaver Passing situation, he's back to throw, he throws it short, that's caught, that's Hafey, and Hafey will pick up 4. And then bring up 3rd and long.
Number 23, Ian Hafey.
Well, Ian Hafey, again, he's the production guy. Not very productive on that one. And that brings up a 3rd down and 9.
3rd down 8 for the Bulldogs.
Quick to the line are the Bulldogs here. With a 3rd down, minute and a half to go here, opening quarter. To throw. Beaver rolling out to his left. Here comes Long. He got it from behind. Sander helped as well. A flag is down. Now 2. We've seen so many penalties so far today.
Number 16, Evan Beaver.
And there's another one, and it might be coming back.
55, Jackson Sander, as well as number 65, Reich and Angel. Flag on the play.
And so we'll see what the flag is after the sack.
And Avery, this time last year was the first legitimate, in your words, easy TV broadcast.
It was. First did that one with Lincoln Glazebrook. There's a terrible face mask penalty that will give Moffat County the 1st down. Of course, then we got together to do basketball, which will happen in a matter of weeks, really. A lot of these guys will be called again on the basketball court. And everything took off.
Certainly has, and much improved.
Wouldn't want to be doing it anywhere else with anyone else. 1st and 10, minute just over that, 75 seconds left in quarter number 1. Beaver's in the gun, he'll keep. Angel tried to get him from behind, and Beaver will churn ahead to the 44. Did he lose the football? At the end of the play, early indication is he did, but the officials say it's 2nd down. We saw coaches immediately get up on the field say, hey, he fumbled.
Beavers fumbled a couple times this year, only lost 1. That would have been a devastating turnover.
Well, it's been kind of a devastating game so far. Now playing from behind is Moffat County. So far, Elizabeth dominance has continued. This might be the last play of the 1st quarter. And fittingly enough, it's Hafey. Fittingly enough, he doesn't get much, though he does get a 1st down. That'll stop the clock for a second. Jackson Sander with the tackle. Sander had another fantastic game last week, I want to add as well. Racked up a sack and really was kind of the force in the defensive front.
Yeah, certainly was one of his best games, if not the best, of the year for Jackson Sander.
That's Caden Long hustling off the field. Last play of the 1st quarter if they snap it. I don't think they will, though. They certainly won't because Hafey isn't even set, and that's the end of quarter number 1. 15 points by the Cardinals, a pair of touchdowns and a safety. It's exactly what we expected, isn't it?
Absolutely brilliant through the first 12 minutes. It's a dream start, and only a quarter in, though. Still plenty of time for Moffat County to develop something. They have the football and a 1st down.
Let's meet the Elizabeth defense.
Jackson Sander, a.k.a. Jesse, senior.
Reich and Angel, senior, Running Creek Elementary.
Caden Long, a.k.a. Long, junior. Drake Brinkworth, junior, Running Creek Elementary.
Ethan Stone, senior, a.k.a. Etonian.
Cooper Conley, a.k.a. Coop, senior. Cash Randall, a.k.a. C. Bams. Did you pray today?
Andrew Brown, LSU, junior. Titan Tupin, a.k.a. T-Tone, junior.
Dyson Lindsay, senior, FIWB.
Malachi Marisco, a.k.a. Schmiel, senior.
So Moffat County moves about 10 yards the other way in a 15-0 ball game. Ready to start quarter number 2.
I want to take
and when do you break up the pass?
I want to take this moment to shout out Mr. Horton, head of Easy TV, and Bradley, member of Easy TV, filming for us today.
Getting a lot of quality shots, I'm sure. It's been a quality game. Hafey trying to add on some insurance here, and he'll get into Elizabeth territory to the 42-yard line. And everything is lining up except for the fact that Moffat County has not scored. I mean, they've had a couple really, really bad plays that have kind of killed them so far today. But they're not playing poor football.
They are not. It's just a couple of bizarre mistakes, but it's been Champ Haffey running the ball very effectively, averages 8 yards a carry.
It's been a very bizarre season for Elizabeth. Seen a lot of wild moments every week. This one no stranger to it. On first down, through the middle, Hedman. Second carry he's had of the game, and again, he doesn't get much.
Here, number 24, Zach Hedman. Tackle made by number.
So what do you do right now if you're Moffat County? Do you throw at some point? I mean, they're driving with the run, but the run can only do you so much.
Well, they will have to throw at some point. I think they're a bit concerned after that interception throw by Bieber. Abysmal, but they might give him a chance here on 2nd and 10.
Bieber was on the run. He tried to get it out. There's Hafey, and there's a throw, technically. Hafey still carrying defenders to the 28. Another first down, gain of 12. Flag is down.
Flag on the play.
Yeah, 2 defenders stacked up on Hafey that time, including Wes Noe. Just shows the raw power of number 23.
And that's going to be an offensive hold and back up Moffat County. So many penalties so far. Of course, this game regulated by Chasso, so different officials than what you would normally see for an Elizabeth High School game, though of course all Chasso officials, are rotating around, but it's a different crew, and one that has not been a stranger to the penalty.
Not at all. They have been happily throwing the flag.
Nullifies another first down, 2nd and 15. From the gun. Beaver fakes, sets up, going deep, wide open is Hafey, he hit him! Champ Hafey running for the touchdown! Nobody on him!
What a pitch and catch between Bieber and Hafey. And that is the air attack we were waiting for. They take a shot, and it pays off.
Goodness gracious, another torturous job up the middle by the Cardinals. That's what they did in the loss to Kent Denver. The pressure through the middle and missed chances. And there's the first one, Ian Hafey. As that kick's blocked, and you can't return it, but it will be 15-6, as if things couldn't get any stranger.
Wow. That was a terrible snap. The hold came late, and they had no time to get that off.
I believe Wes Noe was the one who blocked it. He could have just stood there. He had time to.
That was Paul Dorworth, who's now 13 of 15 on the year for PATs.
And another disaster, and so we'll see the Elizabeth kick return team for the first time. I mean, what is there to know? This has been insane in the weirdest way possible.
Yeah, every bizarre situation has occurred.
And I think there were only 14 minutes in, too. You've seen a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, an interception, a safety, actually a pair of rushing touchdowns. Of course, bizarre backwards passes, plenty of holding calls, nullified first downs, missed punts. It's been bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, just not what you would expect for a playoff game.
Kick return touchdowns are not fans of Elizabeth. They have none this year. They do have the punt return with Mariscal. Randall and Stone have been the surefire return guys for the past few years now. And they'll get a kick return opportunity for the first time today. Here's Randall from the 12. Sweeping left, Stone picks up a block, but Randall runs right through the middle and is tackled by about 8 people, Cardinals included.
Randall on the return.
So out come the Cardinals again. Out come Gavin Garcia. They've done so well moving the ball down the field. How do they do it again?
I think they can they've run the ball so efficiently. Give the ball to Connolly, let him work. If they can put together a good drive here in the opening stages of the second quarter, that would take away anything Moffat County has built up so far.
15-6, 10:08 left, quarter number 2. Garcia's under center. Fake the pitch and another false start. Goodness. Goodness. Sam, it's been wild with these penalties. We have never seen it be so consistent.
Yeah, it's been completely different than any game throughout this season. We've seen penalties before, but in this multitude so early.
So here we go now, 1st and 15. Garcia, quick throw, and that one was almost picked off. Looking for Mariscal, and Hafey was right there. Check that. That wasn't Hafey. That was Hudson Jones, and he was trying to hit Lindsay on that one. Second and long. And again, Garcia's just missing a couple of passes.
Yeah, certainly not sharp to begin this game.
The only time he's gone deep so far today was on that two-point try, which of course you consider you might want to go deep because the defense can't return it for anything, so why not? The rest of his passes have been screens and short slants. Stone. Back to the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10. And again, some pushing and shoving. Connolly getting in the face of a defensive lineman, and it's finally pushed away. Well, he's no stranger to it, and Wyatt Dade was almost next to feel the anger. So 3rd and 10, you have to throw it, right?
Certainly, and I think you see Dyson Lindsay in on this play. That's a man that I believe they may target here.
Garcia pitched a QBR of over 100 last week, using mostly short throws, and as you mentioned, Lindsay is a potential target. He's on the near side. 3 receivers left. That's where Garcia rolls. Rather rolls to the right. Steps away and fires short. Lindsay, a sideline catch. Is he inbounds? He is. Fantastic grab by Lindsay, and you called it.
Yeah, they looked for him earlier in the set of downs. That's a big connection there with the pocket collapsing. Garcia rolling out.
Oh. Well, the officials came in. The crowd cheered, and the official waved his arms like it was a completion, but then called it incomplete, and here's a punt.
Yeah, strange. Everything indicated a reception.
Looked like he had both feet in bounds on that one as well. Of course, you only need one in high school. So Connolly will punt. Moffat County trying to get back into it. Decent kick. Tupin will let it roll out of bounds at the 33. And that's where Moffat County takes over. Down by still 2 scores, but 15-6 and 15-13 or 14 is a lot better than anything else.
Yeah, and if they can score on this drive, it's an entirely new game, 1-score game.
So 15-6. 3 minutes into the second quarter, and what has been a pretty long moving game so far. About a half hour in. It was about 15 minutes in football time, which is pretty long for high school. Casey fumbled the ball, and he's trying to get on it quickly, and he's lucky to cover it, but he just lost 5. And again, botched exchanges have been aiding the Cardinals all season.
Yeah, not something you expect to see from Moffat County, who have protected the ball well this season.
The officials had stopped the clock momentarily, I think, to maybe spot the ball. But now it resumes. 2nd and 15. And again, Beaver hit on that deep pass early. Here he is. Stepping up, throwing short. Hafey again. Ian Hafey scored the touchdown. There's an awkward wrap-up out of bounds, and he'll be close to another first down.
It's just Hafey after Hafey after Hafey play.
Connolly finally gets the tackle on him, but wow. 3rd and 3. Handoff. Hafey to the right. Backed up. Went nowhere and may have lost one. Good front. Stops them. Do you go for it here on 4th?
It's too early. It's too early in their own end. I think they would be better just punting this away.
Looks like out comes the punt team. Mariscal's getting ready to receive it. Beaver with the safety punt. I'm talking to the coaches like they might design a play here.
Down at 2. Let's go, Cardinal fans.
Looks like they'll punt. Except they do run a play. It's a handoff to the right to the lineman, and he didn't get it. A handoff to Jordan Anderson, the 6'4", 270 sophomore. And they might need to bring out the chains Lawrence is coming on. Cardinal ball.
Jordan Anderson gets the call on 4th and 2.
Your thoughts?
Wow, I can't believe that play call.
A lineman handoff. And by a matter of inches, death by inches, he didn't get it. Shout out Vic Fangio.
And Moffat County this year has a few stats with linemen rushing the ball. So they have pulled out that trick play a few times. Doesn't work out there.
Bizarre move because Elizabeth was ready to stop it, too. They were all there. Of course, the linemen can't beat the speed of the Cardinals. Connolly picks up 1, if
Ball
that.
carrier number 32, Cooper Conley.
Try to get back to some normalcy here. Well, last year, they were on this field. This was the play that changed it. It was really a killer game, career game for Tay Wheat and Montezuma.
Yeah, that was the stealing interception. And just a massive return on that play. Such a devastating disaster in 2022. And what you don't see there, the 2 muff punts by Malachi, who you wonder if that's still in the back of his mind heading into this game, despite all the great things he's done since.
He's been able to live it down a little bit. He talked about his nerves are pretty low for this game. He's able to quit thinking about everything else. Botched exchange. Garcia's forced to roll and run. Nobody's blocking, and Garcia got leveled in the hurtful area. No gain. That looks like a WWE style tackle. And it's 3rd and 8. Kenny Frederickson with the tackle.
3rd down 9 for the Cardinals. Ball spotted at the 42-yard line.
Second leading tackler, Kenny Frederickson. First time we've called his name.
Tackle 66 on the season for him. Moffat County needs a stop here to stay in it because Elizabeth is not afraid of running up the score in big games like this. In the gun, Garcia out to his left, looking for options. Good containment. He throws deep, and it's too high and dropped by a pair of players. Mariscal tried to get there, and so did Randall. It was a little bit high, but it's one that they maybe should have held on to.
Everyone just kind of hovering in one area. Nobody comes away with it, and Elizabeth will be happy to look at a pin situation.
And again, Garcia had expressed his fears about forcing passes downfield. Don't want to insinuate that that one was forced, but certainly wasn't what he wanted. So Connolly will punt off the snap from Stone, which he does. And it will be fair caught at the 5. So 95 yards to go now for Moffat County, but they've got one of the better runners we've seen this season.
Yeah, Haffey is a name they will have to continue to call on. Able to stop Elizabeth after the turnover on downs. This would be a big moment for them to go the distance, 95 yards, run some of the clock, and head into halftime with a more manageable game.
One of the only couple times we've seen a long drive go. The first one was Denver West when Walker Blanchard had the pick 6 in just what was a bizarre finish to a bizarre game. The other one was when they led up the 2-minute drill to Kent Denver when they were backed up at the 7-yard line. Drove 93 yards down the field in about 40 seconds. Hathey goes nowhere. Good tackle immediately. Wes Noe.
Tackle made by number 61, Wes
So midway through the second quarter and then some, another good tackle.
In a 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8 for the Bulldogs.
Again, I mean, you have to keep running it right now. With the way the defensive line has got through, there's no way you throw it, right?
Certainly, and I think if they open it up here, pick up a first down, which is important in terms of field position here, they can maybe look to throw with Bieber.
Hathey's the back, 2nd and 7. Handoff to the right side, and good job bouncing it, and he's going to be close to a first down.
Number 24,
Give him a gain of 7 for Zach Hedman.
Tackle made by number
Might be 8. I think he's, yes, they do say he got the first down.
Hedman and Happy, the 2 running backs, who will share a lot of the touches for Moffat County.
On their own 15-yard line.
And now this drive can officially begin. Coopin lines up on Carlson on the near side of the field. Handoff, Hathey, gain of 4. 2nd and long.
Hathey, the ball carrier.
Well, Elizabeth has been iffy defensively, but they've been really good at holding the run game pretty much the entire season.
They certainly haven't. So far, limiting Hafey. He's had a few big pickups.
Windy afternoon starting to get through. Design roll for Beaver is going to take off, and right away he stiff arms one defender, and then Mariscal brings him down. Stone got the better half of Beaver's right arm on that carry, but Mariscal finished it off.
Yeah, Beaver, not a badly sized quarterback, 6'2", 180. Not an easy guy to bring down.
3rd and 1. You think they hand it to Jordan Anderson on this one?
Perhaps. Maybe if we get the 4th and 1.
But in a serious note, you expect Hafey, right?
You certainly do. 3rd and 1. Who else?
6'4", 200. The name we've called the most by far today, and with good reason. He is the backbone of this team. And it's a give to him. Wow, Connolly tried to get through right away. Hafey will have just enough for the first down. Connolly was aiming straight for Beaver and completely whiffed on a tackle that could have got Beaver, or that could have got Hafey. Another first.
Number 61, Wes Snowy, as well as the number 11, Cash Randall.
And over pursuit and over commitment have been big stories as well in missed tackles in close games for Elizabeth. There's another one. Late stages, 2nd quarter, Hafey. Good lower leg tackle. That's what they're aiming for, his legs right now. You can see it on almost every hit.
Yeah, hard to overpower Hafey up high. And they brought the pressure that time. Good by Beaver to get that out and allow Hafey to pick up a decent gain on 1st down.
Just to look at the blown coverage a little bit by Elizabeth. It's been a problem all year with missed assignments, of course. How do you stop it? How do you deal with that?
Well, they were outpaced once by Hafey.
Here's a throw by Beaver, trying to set up a screen, and he will quickly. Hedman with running room and a 1st down to the 44-yard line. And again, the sticks move.
And Hedman opened up 4 receivers all the way down the field. That was Elizabeth's concern. So they dump it to Hedman, and he'll take it for a 1st down.
Now, usually in these situations, Moffat County tries to go hurry up, get a quick hitter, but they can't go until the chains are set, which they finally are. So again, everybody gets reset. Beaver to throw, looking deep. He's got a guy wide open on the right side. He'll throw it short, and that's caught at the 49-yard line. The guy wide open was picked up by Mariscal eventually, but there was an opportunity for Evan Beaver as we've got our first time out of the game.
So now the passing game opening up a little bit for Moffat County. Beaver with some completions.
Jaden Francis racks up his first tackle of the game. Well, we've got a second. A couple games will kick off in 15 minutes, but this is how the playoff picture looks. The winner will face Berthoud, who annihilated Wellington 38-6 last night.
Yeah, difficult 4-seed opponent. Another game to watch. TCA, of course, playing Basalt. Basalt lost to Moffat County 29-6 earlier this year. Basalt, of course, an 8-seed, hosting a playoff game.
Right, you had TCA losing to Elizabeth last week, 35-7. Of course, other teams in the playoffs that Elizabeth beat University, they won at home, and then ended up losing to Kent Denver. They faced 3 playoff teams. Moffat County has only faced 1 so far.
And at the top of that screen, you could highlight Delta as the favorite, the 1 seed this year, taking on Alamosa.
That's on the Elizabeth side of the bracket. For those of you who are curious how the bracket works, the number 1, the number 3, the number 1, the number 4, and then it really just alternates. I'm not great at numbers, but it'll flip, and we'll show you that graphic in a second and show you how it works. Delta's on the Elizabeth side of the bracket. There's a chance of facing them. Beaver stepping up, rolling and running. Evan Beaver using his legs, 1st down to the 34, and he's able to hop out of bounds. So we'll look at the playoff picture one more time after a good run by Evan Beaver. Delta as on the Elizabeth side, Berthoud on the Elizabeth side, Elizabeth, of course, on their own side, and La Junta is the other team on that half of the bracket.
Yeah, not going to be an easy road to the final. Of course, TCA was a semifinalist last year against Delta, lost by just a touchdown.
I beg your pardon, by the way, Basalt and TCA are the guys on the same side of the bracket there. So, there was a flag down, and Beaver's good run is wiped out.
Personal foul against the Bulldogs.
All the way to the 48-yard line, brings up 2nd down and moderate.
Moffat County has 2 minutes here at midfield, well, the 49.
When do you go back to the deep ball?
I think they go to it right now. Down by 9.
Wow. The personal foul was for a fist bump on what I believe was an excessive celebration. I mean, that's what he said. I don't think that can be true.
How excessive can you get?
Second and 5 coming up. The officials are getting the ball spotted. They reset the clock. So as you mentioned, coming down on the final 2 minutes, no 2-minute warning, but of course a 2-minute drive. Beaver fakes, pressured immediately. Here he is. Hedman gets the first down. They're going to have to kind of hurry here at the 40, or they'll take a timeout.
Great composure from Beaver as well. Pressure in his face, able to dump it off to Hedman for a solid gain.
Another flag down. It wasn't a timeout, it was a penalty again. And again, Moffat County is backing up. This is nuts.
Wow. Such a huge drive before the end of the half, and penalties are nullifying anything Moffat County has done.
It's a first half that has been, there's an offensive hold. That'll back them all the way up deep into Elizabeth territory. It's a first half that has been defined by bizarre plays that miss opportunities and penalties.
Yeah, the penalties have been the big story so far. Elizabeth has fought through some of them, but big impact on Moffat County, especially on this drive.
So $1:59 left, 15-6 the score. Beavers in the gun. Pressure. Beaver uncorks. A couple guys down there, and Lindsay good coverage, and the ball was way overshot. Looking for Bryant Carlson, 3rd and long.
For number 5, Bryant Carlson, falls incomplete. 3rd down 11 for the Bulldogs.
Right. 3rd and 11. Moffat 2 timeouts. Elizabeth 3. How aggressive are you right now? Or how conservative are you?
Well, they don't want to give the ball back to Elizabeth with too much time. That is a concern. Wouldn't be surprised if they keep it on the ground here, but they might give Beaver a chance to take a shot.
Elizabeth has hit a few nice 2-minute drills this season. Beaver short throw. Caught. Trying to get some yardage there is Aaron Aguilar. First time we call his name. He doesn't do anything. Timeout Cardinals.
Aguilar, the 3rd option at running back for Moffat. And so the Cardinals are going to get the ball back here. 4th and 11 unless Moffat County chooses to go for it.
I mean, you might not be surprised, or you might not be surprised, I guess. 94 seconds left. Of course, Garcia will get the ball on the other side as the official is telling Elizabeth to back up, which I've never seen before. It was a lot stricter with this being a Shasta playoff game. So on the other side of the ball, Gavin Garcia, who does he look for, assuming he throws the ball?
Well, I think running the ball is the option here. They don't want to do anything too crazy, turn the ball over in their own end before the half. Don't hand anything to Moffat County.
Do you say stay conservative?
I do. I think that's the way to go. 1:34, unless they have the confidence to throw the ball and go, possibly, it could be like a 90-yard drive here, depending on what the punt is like from Beaver.
Garcia's been iffy so far today. Was great the past couple of weeks. And here goes Moffat County again, spreading everybody out here on 4th down. Not sure if this formation is legal. They say it is, and they'll punt. Beaver finally gets it away. Had a chance at blocking it, and the Cardinals will have 88 yards to go for 6 points.
Better punt by Beaver.
Beaver's kick goes out of bounds. Cardinals take over the ball. 1st down and 10. Their own 15-yard line.
So again, now you're at the 15. You stay conservative.
Yes, because a turnover at this end, a pick six, something like that, would be absolutely terrifying heading into the half.
Right. Of course, Elizabeth has been pretty good holding onto the football this year in tight situations like this, minus the eventual game-ending interception by Garcia, but that game seemed far from over at that point. So at the 15, under center Garcia, and they will go conservative here. A decent run by Ethan Stone. He'll pick up 5. Second down, clock rolling.
Perhaps Moffat County take a timeout to maybe get the ball back. Doesn't look as if they will.
Well, they've got a couple remaining, so they don't have to now if they still want to have a chance at getting the ball back. Of course, Elizabeth will have to snap the ball at least 2 more times. Garcia, you can hear yelling from all the way up here with the echo and the dead silence of this crowd, rolling right off the fake. Garcia steps away, pressure. He threw it, and it's picked! Hedman, he threw it right to him! And Hedman's down to the 10. You said not to do it.
He was wrapped up by the waist, and he tried to force it. And it's been the story all season, forcing throws. And that time, it hurts him. I mean, just an inexcusable turnover in the red zone. Wow.
Goodness gracious. And now at the 10 and 2 timeouts and 50 seconds, Zach Hedman has got his first interception of the year.
Yeah, he couldn't muster the arm strength to get it over Hedman that time. Here's Moffat County.
Garcia tried getting it out. The clock would have run had he not done anything, and Havey fumbles. He lost the ball. Elizabeth says they're on it, and they got it.
Wow. Riken Angel lifted it up triumphantly. What a play. What a turn of events. Oh, my goodness. Havey turns it over. His first turnover of the year.
You can almost see the weight lifted off of Garcia's shoulders. And now they say Moffat's got it. They signal Elizabeth football. Then they go back, switch it. Moffat's hurrying up to the line. The Cardinals have to get set. They don't have enough guys on, and they have to take a timeout. That is bizarre, and I hate to say anything about the refs because they're doing their best, but that is terrible.
Confused looks, hands in the air on the Elizabeth coaching side.
And the fact that they got the ball set before Elizabeth was even on the field.
Yeah, they had 5 guys rushing off the field, had to bring on a couple more. Just a strange final minute in the first half.
Angel was holding on to the ball, and here come the Boo Birds. And usually I would say you shouldn't do that, but frankly, I don't hate it.
Yeah, just a strange sequence.
A terrible call because officials obviously can't review plays. They signaled Elizabeth football. Angel had it in his hands. Then they go back, signal Moffat football, and get it set before anyone's on the field.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
Well, so everything shifts now. 2nd and goal at the 6. A touchdown would make it a game again. Hedman's the back. Havey has fumbled twice today. Fake. Keeper. Beaver. He's in. Touchdown.
Evan Bieber's 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And exactly what we said to avoid, a turnover on that drive that started backed up in their own end. And Moffat County converts.
Nightmarish. Nightmarish. What has happened the past 3 plays? And Gavin Garcia forced a terrible throw, ran back on the field because he thought he got the ball. First extra point was blocked. This one's through. And all of a sudden, we've got a game.
That completely changes the dynamic. 1-score game as this will have to be re-kicked.
Yeah, there's a flag down. We'll see who it's on. Red ball has been big so far today. I'll say it that way and try putting it kindly.
Certainly is the 3rd team out there throwing flags on both sides, but the true concern and criticism was that turnover that was given to Elizabeth and then given back to Moffat.
Yeah, what made Garcia so good the past couple of weeks was his ability to hold on to the ball, keep it from moving. It's going to be a penalty on Moffat.
Yeah, Garcia great at extending plays, but that time extends it too long, forces a bad throw, and it results in a big score.
And so they're going to stepped this penalty, and so this penalty will back Moffat up.
Shot block against the Bulldogs.
That's a chop block is what the officials call.
Yeah, there was a guy on the edge. They blocked the first PAT.
Mm-hmm. So, 35 seconds left. They put a second back on as well in between the chaos. Now, I'd assume it looks like, well, they're still going to try kicking it. This is going to be a 35-yard extra point, which is surefire in the NFL, pretty surefire in college. Welcome to high school. And the kick is still good. So once again, we've got ourselves a game. And the disbelief from Angel and from Connolly on those past couple of plays, arms in the air, it has been just bizarre.
Yeah, and flashbacks to that Montezuma-Cortez game. These mistakes coming in the first half, but again, it's the same story as last year, turning the ball over in inopportune times.
Enter Sandman playing right now between the break. Garcia's hoping that the ghost of his former self-forcing passes has not entered. Just Halloween, you never know.
35 seconds, take a knee, go to halftime.
You have to, barring some big return. I'm with you.
Strange, Bieber's taking the kickoff.
Yeah,
But the man who made the extra point, Paul Dorworth, is not.
Yeah, Beaver has only kicked it off 9 times. He had the safety punt earlier. Randall backs up, collects it. Randall to the 20, and he's leveled. He is annihilated right there. And Randall is holding his ribs as he walks back. Randall broke his ribs at Western Camp to start the year back in July. And he's kind of hobbling around right now. Took another bad shot.
Yeah, big hit by Ethan Schaff, the senior, 6'2", 230.
So Tupin comes in for him. You'd expect them to just knee on the ball. Usually don't get an acquire huddle for a kneel down though, but they break it quickly.
So Randall bent over on the sideline with the trainer. Hope he's okay.
Of course, as we mentioned, one of the biggest pieces this offense, and it is kneel down formation. That's the first kneel down Garcia has taken all season, and it's the one that will take us to the end of a crazy first half, a bizarre first half.
It'll be interesting to see in the second half if Garcia can maintain composure and not let that terrible turnover affect him too much.
Well, the difference was the bizarre safety that happened on a kickoff. Elizabeth could have gone in leading by 9, but Garcia forced a pass in the grass, turned it over, and we have got ourselves a 15-13 ball game. Sam, what is going on?
It was a great start, and for Moffat County, they opened up very well. Great opening drive, then their mistakes took hold, and now Elizabeth at the end of the half having their mistakes take hold of the game, and it'll be a very interesting second half, one-score game.
It'll be very interesting talk in the locker room. Is the first thing you bring up the production early or the stoppage of it late? In the locker room.
Yeah, we'll see how they approach the locker room discussion, but they need to come out hot, and they need to find more rhythm like they did in the early stages.
Yes. The cheerleaders are running to the other side of the field as we're at the end of half number 1, and it does not look like there will be any kind of halftime show. So that's what we're looking at right now. 15-13. Absolute insanity so far. Avery Getchie, Sam Johnson. Sam Johnson will take over for the second half. Glad to be with you for the first round of the 2A playoffs.
EMS 7th grade football team. Volunteered for the EMS 8th grade football team. Great season, gentlemen.
I mean, like when you were doing this, how about I can see it. I didn't expect Go back in now. You want to go back in now? Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to Elizabeth and the 2A state playoffs round of 16. A bizarre first half. 15-13 is how we enter. Some big mistakes on both ends for Moffat County and Elizabeth. Avery, the notable play, that turnover in their own end for Elizabeth, that resulted in the Moffat County touchdown that cut this game to a 2-point lead.
Right. Yeah, it was, I mean, it was awful. We rewatched it, and it was just a forced pass where you mentioned even had Garcia gotten it past Hedman, or if Hedman wasn't there, it still probably would have been intercepted, unless he was trying to hit it on the near side, but even that would have been a hard throw to make. So it's by far the worst throw we've seen all season by Gavin Garcia. Comes at one of the worst possible moments, and it put Moffat County right back in it.
Yeah, the big scoring plays thus far. Cooper Connolly, 58-yard rushing touchdown. Gavin Garcia had that QB sneak, 1 yard for a touchdown. And Champ Haffey, who's been the big story for Moffat County offensively and defensively, a 49-yard receiving bomb from Evan Beaver.
Yeah, it was just blown coverage all around, you know. The Connolly touchdown run, I think I at least thought, I'm sure you might have as well, like this is going to be the kind of Elizabeth Cardinals that we saw against TCA. You know, they're just going to pull through and smooth sail in the second half. Then the tide started to turn with that interception. But even then, the defense was playing so well. It's just a nightmare that's teed off because of that, of course, interception by Garcia, then the missed touchdown call. It's all kind of turned into what we've got now, 15-13.
Elizabeth certainly has some things to work out, and a scary introduction to the turnover game.
Yes.
Especially in light of last year after the 4 turnover performance and their ultimate demise 21-7. They lead at halftime this year.
Well, and you have to think, too, the only time they turned it over last week against TCA was when it was 35-0, so it wasn't a big deal. But now, goodness.
And we will see how Elizabeth plays out this second half. 15-13, round of 16, 12, 5-seed matchup. We are moments away from the final 24 minutes of action in Elizabeth.
Starts the second half. The Cardinals.
We'll see Elizabeth getting the ball to start it. Cash Randall's back out there after taking that ugly hit where he was grabbing his ribs. So evidently he's okay. He's got a giant mark on the left-hand side of his body, though.
Courtesy of Ethan Schaff, the senior freight train who left Randall a little bit shaken after that play.
Note again, Evan Beaver is still kicking off despite Paul Dorworth kicking the extra point and having plenty of more kickoffs than Beaver. This will be number 10 for Beaver. Dorworth had 20 going into this game.
And off we go in the second half. Beaver's kick will be over the head of Randall and through the back of the end zone. And Elizabeth will start their drive at the 20.
Interesting, they moved a second down on the clock despite no one touching the ball. Right now, Gavin Garcia, you got to get back to running the ball, right? Get him comfortable again, then maybe hit those short screens. I would not expect him to go deep at all throughout the remainder of this game, barring some miracle.
This will be a big test for him. How does he handle that terrible turnover? And I'm sure that has shaken him mentally in some sense. The officials have been a big story in this game as they blow their whistle. We are ready for the second half. Garcia under center. And they'll put it on the ground with Connolly, who drives ahead for a gain of 5 on the opening play from the scrimmage.
Well, it's shades of last year, and it's shades of even the year before. Elizabeth gets a home playoff game, and everything that it seems like they had done production-wise has gone out the window.
Dyson Lindsay in on this play. He's been targeted a couple times. One of his receptions wiped out after being ruled, or what appeared to be ruled in a reception. Connolly in the backfield again. On the ground, this time it's Stone. And he is short of a first down, gain of a couple. Some jarring after that play.
Yeah, Ethan Stone, it's not like he doesn't read blocks well, he just doesn't get blocks when he's out there running the ball. It's been a rough year for him.
Lindsay comes off for 3rd and 2. A big third down, Avery, opening drive of the second half.
Got to go Cooper Connolly.
Malachi lone receiver out wide. Tight formation, there is Connolly, and he has a first down. Wrapped up after a gain of 5, and the Elizabeth drive continues.
Another good carry for him. That's what they need to do, and I'm glad they're doing it. They're getting back to basics. It's fundamental football. Sure, it's boring. Sure, it kills a lot of clock, but right now, this game is much tighter than it should be. You have to kind of resume the way you played.
It's exactly how they routed TCA. Fundamental football, executing at the line of scrimmage.
Well, to think in that game, too, there was no touchdown longer than 5 yards out, despite the 5 of them that were scored. It's a good way to play, especially in situations like this.
Stone in motion, there's the counter, and it's wrapped up immediately this time for a loss of 1. A play that's been so effective throughout this season for Elizabeth Avery.
Cass Randall seems like he's kind of having a resumption of what happened against Penn Denver. He has just struggled against these bigger teams. Of course, he ran all over the teams that Elizabeth beat decidedly. A lot of that was but he plays these teams that what are supposed to be closer games, and he just struggles. And it's not like he doesn't have the talent either. I'll note that.
Not at all. Very talented player. 2nd and 10. Nearly a jump on the Moffat County side. This pitch out wide. Blockers had room for Stone. Cutting across the 40 and escorted out of bounds. Appears to be just shy of a first down. Brings up 3rd and short.
The tackle made by Beaver. Beaver playing both sides of the ball the way he does is something we really haven't seen since Jason Weber was doing it with Elizabeth. It's nothing we saw this year. It's a difficult decision to do.
Yeah, certainly. Sorry there, Avery, but unusual to see a quarterback playing offense and defense.
Right.
Certainly Garcia focuses on his quarterback responsibilities, and we saw Beaver kicking off as well. A man with a lot on his shoulders.
Beaver also plays basketball, runs track. He's busy all throughout the year.
On the ground, it's Connolly fighting through a initial tackler, and Beaver got thrown at the end of that play by Connolly. Picks up the first down.
That's why I don't think you should be letting the quarterback play both sides of the ball, even if he's comfortable to do it. You can't be taking those kinds of hits if you think that you can be the backbone of this team. Tim Frink is 1 of 4. He's run the ball twice for a yard. Really nothing impressive.
Yeah,
Titus Frink, rather. Yeah.
brother of
Titus.
Caleb Frink, who graduated in 2021. That man led rushing his senior year. Titus Frink, of course, a freshman, not primarily involved. Another pitch play. Here's Randall. Big pickup on first down. Gain of about 6.
Again, it's the exact formula they had against TCA. Run the ball on every single play. Garcia may not like it, but he understands it, and I know he does. He understands why they're doing this, because he made one of the worst plays of the year, and it cost him.
Slow-moving drive, but a productive drive so far.
Expect Connolly or Stone on this one. You're not going to be doing any counters with this formation. Of course, you never know.
In Moffat territory, it's a draw. Connolly gets free, stiff arms a man, and Connolly down to the 35.
Oh!
He threw Adolfo Jimenez.
Oh, goodness! And Coach Tesh was in on the bottom of the pile there on the eventual tackle, but what a move by Cooper Connolly.
Wow. Jimenez was tossed at the end of that play. Of course, the man who ran into his own end zone and was tackled for a safety earlier in the first half.
Gotta go Connolly again.
First down. And they will go Connolly again. Another chunk pickup for Cooper Connolly.
Ball carrier number 32, Cooper Conley.
Yeah, I mean, he's your chunk yard guy. He's your decision guy.
Tackle made by number 24, Zach Edmond.
He's the kind of player that any team would want in these kinds of situations where you just need to bleed blood.
Zach Hedman came into this game leading tackling by one tackle. Nice play there to stop Connolly. 2nd and 4.
Hedman is the interception, too, which is the play of the day so far for Moffat County.
Stone in motion, they'll give it to Stone. Has the outside, Stone one man to beat, that's Brian Carlson, and Stone picks up the first down.
Flag is down, though.
Tackle made by number 5.
Early indications as it's on Elizabeth, they're backing up. Ref ball returns.
Been a massive storyline today, the penalties, just every drive littered with them.
You'd expect a lot of officials usually now that you're in the playoffs to try to ease back a little bit on the fouls and let them play, but on both sides of the ball, we've seen horrible killers and another hold.
Wipes out the first down pickup. Jake Burdick and Malachi Mariscal trot in for this play. 2nd and 14.
So Trenton Miller's going out as well, so Burdick will replace Miller. 2nd and 14, I mean, usually you would be comfortable passing it, but I don't think you are yet.
And it's a draw play. And a decent pickup. It'll still be 3rd and long. Connolly gets another touch.
Tackle made by number 1, Kenny.
So do you consider a pass here despite what we've seen on 3rd and long?
No. I think you're in 4-down territory right now. So I would run the ball, try to make it 4th and short, or if you don't get the first down, and then go from there.
Elizabeth in that gray area in terms of do you go for it, do you not, do you punt? Certainly out of field goal range.
They'll play it aggressive. I think you got to run it, though. Oh, and they jump!
And a jump. Wow. Moffat County have jumped a few times today. They're pointing Elizabeth way.
Elizabeth's pointing Moffat way.
Offsides against the Bulldogs.
On Moffat. Now you really don't want to run it or throw it.
Yeah, definitely not.
I mean, again, I wouldn't be mad about throwing it if you did some sort of screen, but it's been bad, and you got to get back to basics. Got to play fundamental football. This drive has taken up almost half the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that turnover shocked Elizabeth back into running the football consistently. Here's Connolly picks up a first down, courtesy of the Moffat County penalty. And this slow-moving drive nearing the red zone.
Again, I mean, it's an exact replica of what we saw with the opening drive of TCA. They get about 16, 17 plays down the field, take up half the quarter, and score.
Exactly what they want to do right now. Run some of the clock and find points on your opening drive.
So ball security is going to become key right now. I know Connolly and Stone don't fumble much. They better not do it now.
So we're halfway through this 3rd quarter as a nice run nearing a first down.
Ball carrier number 11, Cash
Good
Randall.
fight by Cash Randall.
Tackle made by number 16.
Yeah, Cash Randall, the
Evan
King's
Beaver.
back at it. You know, he'll run for negative yards, and then a play later, the next time he touches the ball, he's going forward for 8. I think he plays with a lot of that kind of mentality, and he's talked about it.
Very dangerous player, prideful player. Evan Bieber, by the way, in the thick of it in this drive, made the tackle there, the stop on Randall.
So check this. It's going to be a first down at the 11. So again, you're in a situation where you can score without doing anything else.
They can pick up the first down at the 1. Rolling out the throw, Garcia, pylon touchdown. Great throw by Garcia after his struggles in the first half. And Elizabeth with a beautiful opening drive.
Well, that's easy. That's what you need. And the first time he throws the ball, he scores 6. Great roll by Garcia. Great throw to Mariscal, who was sliding as he reeled it in. And that is a terrific drive after everything that's happened so far.
Number 7, Malachi Mariscal.
Through to the pylon and connected with one of his favorite targets.
Of course, Elizabeth averaging well over 30 points a game, but the only team in the playoffs that they scored 30 on was TCA when they dropped 35. Much of that came in the first half.
Kick is no good.
And Mariscal's just missed.
That kick was no good. Wow. Mariscal has been perfect today so far up until then.
A miss for the first time in almost a month for Mariscal, and so it'll stay. I mean, this is even worse because now it's staying a one-score game. We've seen so many bizarre scores, safeties, a missed two-point conversion, and now this. Feels like we're back at the start of the year with missed opportunities capitalizing.
So it remains a one-score game with a missed extra point, but still a great opening drive, finding the end zone. A drive where they ran the ball all the way up until the end when they gave Garcia a chance in the red zone, and he made good work of it.
I mean, it's just a mess right now for Elizabeth. Even when they're up, it feels like they're still teetering down. So right now, this defense, it's up to them. It feels like every drive is getting more and more important. And right now, I'm not putting this lightly, this drive coming up will be the most important of the year until the very next drive.
Moffat County, who received a standing ovation from their visiting fans, taking the field in the second half as Jimenez has another strange moment on the receiving end.
Another one. Well, that's the second time we've seen a guy receive a kick out of bounds this season. Jimenez, of course, you have to field it at some point, but goodness.
Yeah, strange from Jimenez.
Had he let it bounce, it probably would have gone out.
I think you take much better field position and give Beaver some more room to work with.
I'm not sure if he realized how close to the sidelines he was there or how close the ball was to the sidelines, but man, oh man, I know it's a split-second decision, but he picked the wrong second to make a decision.
It's a difference of about 30 yards in field position. On the ground, powerful run for a chunk gain on first down. It is too easy for Hafey at times.
I mean, he can get through this defensive line. So usually the way Elizabeth runs their defense, you have the few guys up front, right? Long, Angel, Brinkworth, Xander. Then you send in a couple extra dogs. Now, one of them plays coverage, maybe a couple of them. So usually you see Stone and Francis in coverage. That means Connolly and Noe and Randall are the last line of defense for big runners like Hafey. Good stop there by Noe.
And even with those big run stoppers, still takes 2 guys, maybe even 3 every time. Thrown out to the flat by Beaver. And dragged out of bounds after the first down was Carlson.
Yeah, another missed chance there for Elizabeth. They just didn't look ready for that snap. And of course, they were able to recover a little bit, but these screens are going to have to be able to contain. And they went into this game expecting screens, right? They knew that those would come at some point.
Especially with Carlson, who is second on the team in receiving, 3rd in the league, 5th in 2A. He's had a good year. Elizabeth bring pressure. It's on the ground, and nothing there on 1st and 10.
3rd in the league in 1st and 2A, or excuse me, 3rd in the league and 5th and 2A is wild to me, by the way. That means you got a lot of pass-heavy teams, a lot of schools that prefer the pass, which Elizabeth is not accustomed to.
23, Jaden Francis. Gain of 1 on the play. Second down.
And the only teams they played that really threw the ball heavily were Inglewood, who they got 3 picks off of, and Kent Denver. And again, we don't need to talk about what happened in that game.
Yeah, Carson Campbell was happy to throw the ball in that game, and a jump on the lines again.
No, he looked a little anxious there to get off. He was coming from about
Outside.
4 or 5 yards deep. And just came flying in. They might get Xander or
5 yard
Angel
penalty,
for the
second
ultimate
down,
offside, but yikes.
Penalties continue, and now makes it 2nd and 4 for Moffat County. Beaver, 1 interception today on that opening drive. He's been relatively clean the rest of the way. On the ground, and a pickup of a couple. He'll be short of the first down. Hafey, that'll bring up 4th and 2.
Number 32, Cooper Conley. and
It's
number
gonna bring up-
65, 61.
Might bring up
West
3rd down there. It's kind of weird
Yes,
with all the penalties.
3rd down, of course,
you
yeah.
know, right. Of course, all the penalties is always hard to keep track of. But right now, 3rd and short. I don't think you're going Jordan Anderson here. All eyes are on Hafey. If I'm Moffat, this would be a perfect opportunity to throw the ball.
Well, I'm going to claim I was foreshadowing the 4th and 2 as this play goes nowhere. A sneak ahead,
Good foreshadow. It's 4th and 1 now.
and we saw that
Beaver the ball carrier.
4th down attempt earlier with big number 79, 6'4", 270 sophomore Jordan Anderson. They fell short on that attempt. In their own end again, do they consider it?
They're staying out on the field right now. I think they're going to go for this here. Yeah, you're at the 31 right now. I am not a fan of this call at all. You don't get it. It's basically game over.
Bold decisions from the coaching staff. Beaver under center.
Timeout.
And a timeout taken by Moffat County, who would like to talk this big situation over.
I don't know. You could try getting him to jump, but you can't do anything else. I mean, you go for it, you don't get it. Like I said, Elizabeth most times are so good at moving the ball down the field, chances are you might not see a chance to make it a one-score game again.
Yeah, big decision here, and Jiggy with it playing now in this break. That reminds me of Jason Weber, who jumped in at quarterback for the first time in his career in that 2020 meeting with Moffat County. Threw for 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, threw his first ever touchdown in that game. Also rushed for 58 yards.
Yeah, for Elizabeth High School athletics trivia fans, which I may be the only one, I went to Jace Perez on that one. Broden Yoakum a touchdown run as well. They allowed a 99-yard rushing touchdown. Only time in recent times they played Moffat. Of course, back in the 90s they were playing them, traveling to Moffat, which glad we're not doing that. And right now it looks like they're going to punt, and that's the smart decision.
Yeah, Moffat took a nearly 5-hour trek out here.
Well,
Just
again,
past Steamboat Springs. So they will punt this time. Beaver set to send it away.
going to do a little rollout here, I think.
High snap,
Throw
and now
it!
they're going to throw it. A fake punt, and it's caught. That's Hudson Jones converting on 4th and 1. What a audacious play call, and it pays off for Moffat County.
2 times this season that the Cardinals have failed to stop a fake punt on the 2 times they've seen a fake punt because they don't drop back in coverage. McCray should have been on that at some point, or at least someone should be back there to help contain Mariscal and get down to stop the pass. That was just another missed chance, and the special team woes are back.
That is a massive conversion, 4th and 1. They go down the field. Tough snap. Fielded by Beaver, though. And he's across the 50 into Elizabeth territory.
Yeah, Beaver, another dud of a snap. We've seen so many of those this season. Interestingly enough, there's only been 1 fumbled snap on the Elizabeth side where Garcia fumbled the ball that he gave up. He's only fumbled 3 snaps. All of those came in the freezing cold Burlington game. And they've lucked out.
Under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. Beaver, immediate pressure. He eludes it, steps up, and throws a pass behind his intended target. Brings up 3rd and 9. Went for Hudson Jones again, who caught the fake punt reception.
Yeah, bad forced ball there by Beaver. I mean, Jones was there, but so was Stone. Stone's already intercepted him. It was just a bad force, and he's lucky that it wound up in the dirt. Of course, both sides are kind of lucky at that because Stone, while usually a surefire tackler, if he didn't have the angle, it might have been gone.
So a big 3rd and 9 for Moffat County, trying to do something with that fake punt conversion. Thrown outside, here's Haffey, tripped up after a gain of a few, and there's another flag down. Good. That one comes in the secondary.
Yeah, and I think they might, are they going to get a defensive hold here? It's on Elizabeth, they're saying. Again, with these fouls. First of all, egregious. I mean, what is going on? Another oh, it's an offensive hold.
Against the Bulldogs. The penalties decline.
So that will bring up
That's going to bring up
4th down and 7.
Well, if I'm Coach Dan Carter right now, you got a timeout taken by Elizabeth. Uh-oh.
Timeout, Cardinals.
And this is a good thing to talk over, because if I'm Dan Carter and if I'm, you know, Coach Zesh, and if I'm, you know, whoever, I think they all need to be talking about right now, play back. Don't try to block this kick. I mean, you could get a couple guys maybe spread out around the line of scrimmage, but with how unexpected they've been, the fact that they've run a fake punt with a inside handoff and a fake punt with a pass and a designed rollout on a punt, you have to expect anything.
Yeah, sometimes you can get carried away from the conservative play. They'll have to drop back onto it this time and expect anything from Moffat County. 4th and 7. 2 4th down attempts by Moffat County. They convert one, which was unexpected on the fake punt. The only other fake punt Elizabeth has seen this year was against the Academy, which resulted in a garbage time touchdown
that the Academy celebrated, I might add. But right now, again, you got to play back, and you have to play smart situational football. Treat it like they're going for it right now with the possibility to punt. But this does look like punt form, and now they'll switch out of it again.
So Beaver will look to pin Elizabeth.
This is a bizarre formation.
Pressure coming. Beaver is going to run all the way up to the line of scrimmage and send it away, and that will bounce into the end zone.
Well, that formation, you have to know, too, the three guys that line up on the near side of the field have to get set, and they didn't get set. So I know it's high school and things happen, but they didn't get set. They ran right over there, snapped it. Beaver was close to running across the line.
That's how Beaver has approached his punts, just rolling out, running, and kicking it on the run. So Beaver stays out on the field. He plays all three aspects, special teams, defense, and offense. 31 seconds in this third quarter.
Yeah, Elizabeth's going to have to do the exact same thing they just did on that last drive.
Keep it on the ground. Connolly loses a yard on that 1st and 10 carry.
The thing is, they also expect you to do the exact same thing you've just done. So it was a great touchdown throw by Garcia on what was a drive that was dominated by runs. Part of me wonders if you would consider flipping that script, having Garcia throw maybe even just these simple screens, and then run it in.
Yeah, Moffat County a bit more stout up front in the second half. Anthony Jordan, nice play there. His best game, 13 tackles versus Basalt, and that great win. End of 3 quarters. Elizabeth leads by 8. After that opening drive touchdown, passing touchdown from Gavin Garcia.
Yeah, only 2 drives in a play so far in this third quarter. Slow football that I think we should expect more of.
So that fake punt drive stalled on the ensuing set of downs. And Elizabeth looks to possibly put this game away with a score. on their second drive.
Yeah, I mean, the defense has been so good aside from one play that I think a score could put it away, barring, again, some sort of magic. But the offense right now has all the pressure on them, and for good reason.
Sense and Sensibility, the playing out behind us right now. We'll see if the Sense and Sensibility can come into this game for either team. But Suffering from Success is the story at Elizabeth recently. Football, of course, in the playoffs. All sorts of teams qualifying for state.
Shout out to volleyball, too. Made the playoffs. Playing today.
Number 27, Ethan.
They had one at 11, had one at 10:30. See the results of that very soon.
And could not fit golf on there, but congratulations to all the golfers and their achievements this fall season. 3rd and 8 coming up for Elizabeth.
And the Suffering from Success joke has a bit of trueness to it because a lot of those teams that are doing so well, and even the programs, and hey, AZTV comes out on Thursday, are headed by seniors. And of course, they usually are, but it's such a big class in 2024 that things are going to look so different in the years to come.
Garcia back to throw, pressure coming. He gets it away to Connolly, who makes a move, but is swarmed at the 20-yard line, well short of a first down.
Yeah, Garcia cannot afford to drop so far back on those screens. I know that's the design, but he can't be 12 yards back there because he's lobbing these passes that he can't see. So if someone's there to cover, who knows what's going to happen. Of course, you have a flag now, too.
Garcia left with no time to throw there. Another flag down. Surprise, surprise.
I was going to say, it's been a running trend. Now it's, again, 4th down. And they declined it, so punting situation. And again, all the pressure lies on the defense. And this secondary will have its toughest task of the year.
Brian Carlson back to return. He has a long of 44 this year. Chance to make a statement on this one. Connolly barely gets it off. It's a decent kick considering the circumstances, but it lands at the 50-yard line.
Connolly grabbing his leg, too. He gets up and hops off, luckily, and the Boo Birds come in because there's no flag, and nobody can believe it, and neither can I. That should be a penalty.
Connolly limps off, and Moffat County take the field at midfield.
And I'm not going to say that the officials are going one way or another because I think it's been pretty balanced, but what it's been is terrible. I'm going to be blunt and honest with this. It has been terrible officiating today. Missed calls, calls that really are not even there, swapped calls. It's bizarre.
Crowd did not like that missed call. Evan Beaver, great move, made a man miss, and he picks up 5 yards. Shake and bake on Connolly. Brings up 2nd and 5.
Yep, it's going to be a lot of weight put on Noe, Connolly, Randall, and then, of course, the guys in coverage, too. Francis, Stone, Tupin, Lindsay, and Mariscal. Those guys have the game on their shoulders right now. I know it's early in the 4th. I know there's a lot of football left. But I also know that the way this game is gone, the next score could be the one that ends it.
Pressure coming. Beaver, good protection. He flips it to Aguilar, who is short of a first down.
So they're bringing up 3rd and short. This would be when you go to Ian Hayfield, who I want to mention has not done what he usually does today.
Aguilar, a player who has had a massive decline in production from last year. He's played fewer games.
Face mask. Sorry, that was a defensive face mask on Elizabeth.
It's a big penalty, moves Moffat County quite a distance. But continuing with Aguilar, the senior, had 59 carries, 327 yards last year.
Yep.
This year, heading into this game, just 13 carries rushing. He's had more receiving yards, but a decline from last year as a breakthrough for a chunk gain on first down.
Ran into his own defender. I want to mention that face mask penalty again. Again. I mean, at some point you have to either ease back the officiating or tell players this is how we're calling the game. Do this, don't do this. Of course, face mask is pretty blunt and honest, but even the way Elizabeth looked and the way the tackle looked, it didn't look that bad.
And with everything going on, all the hands and bodies involved, it can be hard to tell.
Right.
On the ground. Oh, pushing ahead. Great run for a first down. Hayfie again, and this Moffat County drive developing quickly.
And again, still a one-score game, so you score, you would have to go for two pretty much at this point in the game. Again, Jaden Francis, good tackle, and things are getting tense. I mean, we saw University where Elizabeth was up, but even that didn't feel so intense. We saw Kent Denver where Elizabeth was down, but it just felt dead in the water. This one.
A different feeling. Pitched Carlson. Great block on the edge to get up some space, but he is wrapped up immediately for a loss on 1st and 10.
Well, the student section has done nothing. What are the odds? But the parents are getting into it, and it's going to mean a lot to these players because even though they can't hear the crowd, that support is huge. I mean, right now, it felt like they were playing in some sort of barren field, and I'm not going to say that that's going to be the reason they clutch up if they're able to clutch up, but it's certainly helpful.
And not even one row of the student section is completely filled.
And I want to say, if you're a student who opted to not go to this game because you didn't want to go, shame.
I think more importantly, if you're a student who opted to come but won't cheer, more of a shame.
Fortunately, they can't hear me, but shame on them.
2nd and 14. Beaver throws to the outside. It's caught by Haffey, who's hit immediately, ripping at the ball, but he made the catch.
Well, he's getting a nice warm hug there from Connolly. I think he's trying to ensure that he's really down.
Connolly was ripping at the ball. Still 3rd and long.
And in comes Zach Hedman. I mean, 3rd and long, you'd expect a deep pass. Malachi Mariscal is the guy to watch defensively. Offensively, it could go anywhere.
They spread him out wide. Beaver pumps, lofting it downfield. Beaver, it is a jump ball batted away, incomplete.
Evan Beaver just missed the biggest opportunity of the game. Edgar Hernandez was wide open.
Threw to the man in double coverage.
And Edgar Hernandez,
Mr. Hernandez
was all alone.
Wow.
And now 4th down, I'd assume you have to go for it. That was a complete miss that could have changed this entire game.
So the second notable poor decision-making play by Beaver. He had the interception earlier, terrible read, and that time missing a wide-open man.
Both teams have found pay dirt off of turnovers. A turnover on downs would change everything. A conversion would change everything. Here we go.
4th down attempt. This one's 4th and 12. Beaver, time. Lofting it back in the end zone. It is caught. No signal yet. Now it is touchdown. Moffat County on a deep strike from Beaver. Unbelievable throw and catch.
Wow. Wow. How in the world does Hudson Jones hang on to this football? I cannot believe that. And again, the secondary is unable to hit on a deep play. And you got a guy running on the field who just fell over, trying to go for 2. I can't believe that play.
Into double coverage. He threw it in the perfect spot. And Moffat County looked to draw level at 21 on this 2-point conversion.
Here we go. We all know who they're going to.
Here it is. And it is stopped short. The ball comes free at the end.
They didn't go to it. They went to a lineman.
Wow. They give it to the big lineman. They've done that several times this season.
What in the world? They go to a lineman and not the biggest name, the biggest guy, the strongest guy, the guy who leads in rushing. They went to a lineman.
Wow.
I am stunned.
Haffey is not given the ball. And that is a interesting call on who to let run that in.
And that may have
Moffat
been
County remained behind.
Yes, that may have been stop of the year. 7 minutes left. We all know what Elizabeth's planning on doing. Here we go. I can't believe that call.
That's unbelievable. Had the initial lane, looked as if he might break through, but hit a brick wall at the 1.
Wow. Well, a game this weird that started this weird, it's fitting it'll end this weird. And here we go.
Beaver sets the ball on the tee and will send it away in now a 2-point game. Just over 7 minutes to play in the final quarter. Low line drive kick. And bouncing, tough bounce, and now bobbled, fielded at the 10, carrying forward is Stone. Great move, Stone making men miss. Carries it to the 29, and that's where Elizabeth will take over.
One of the best returns from the year, aside from the would-be touchdown by Tristan McCray. That was huge.
Cardinals take over the ball. First down.
Good return from Stone after initial struggles. Let's take a look at the playoff picture again. Of course, Elizabeth plays Berthoud if they win. Winner of this game has a tough challenge on the road with them.
Yeah, Wellington was undefeated going into that game, and Berthoud beat them by triple digits, not by triple digits, but, 38-6, won by 32. Here we go.
And it's a short run on 1st and 10. Driven back to the line of scrimmage.
Stone just has not been able to find these creases, and now he's down. He's going to be able to get back up. He'll have to come out, I think. I would take him out for a play. I mean, right now you'd be operating with basically 10 men. But they're keeping him in. So I think, wow, you got 2nd and 9. Got to go to your number 1, Connolly. Then, if it's 3rd and long, throw. If not, anybody's game.
Certainly a run situation here. Connolly is in the backfield. And they'll give it to Connolly. Lots of space. And a few yards on 2nd and 9. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, now you got the question. You're down by 2. 6 minutes left, clock running. I would run this down to, as low as you can and throw it. Gavin Garcia has to be smart with this ball, though. Some sort of rollout would be helpful, but I'd keep him in the pocket. You got Mariscal lined up on the left side, which is the side Garcia doesn't normally hit.
A massive 3rd down, 3rd and 5. It's a fake pitch. They run the counter. And Randall is short of the 1st down.
Once again, Cash Randall has just struggled moving the ball. Man, I mean, you can feel the tenacity, the intensity, everything. It's palpable.
And intensity driven partly by Moffat County's inability to win a playoff game in 19 years.
Look out, it's a
Here's
fake!
Connolly, it's a fake! Connolly picks up the 1st down. Now each team exchanging fakes on punts. And Cooper Connolly with a massive play. The punter keeps the Elizabeth drive alive. Unbelievable.
What a play. Cooper Connolly taking it himself. We said we might not be surprised if there's a fake. I don't think we expected that. How about the aggression to call that play? And now here they go again, and you can run the clock down again. Yeah, I mean, you can salt it down to almost zeros if you get 2 first downs here. So we know where they're going.
Moffat County fake a punt. Elizabeth say we can do that as well.
First fake punt we've seen all season.
Connolly in the backfield and a pre-snap penalty.
Bad jump, backs up Elizabeth again. These penalties, they've chilled out in the 4th quarter, and of course that's a good call, but they're going to kill these teams. We've seen it time and time again where Elizabeth is winning games closer than they should have. And of course the clock should run right now because it was still a run, and so despite the accepted penalty, the clock should run, which the guy next to us doesn't know. I can't believe this guy believes that. It's not wrong. We got a timeout taken now, I think. And there is a timeout.
You certainly pick up on some interesting things said by the announcers next to you. Oops.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of them. I don't know what to say. So, right now, drive of the year. As I said, every drive is going to be. clock was rightfully running. It's coming down to Connolly and Garcia. Randall has been pretty much nullified all game. I don't expect him to break anything out here. Ethan Stone has been unable to break anything out a lot of this season. Now, here we go.
First and 15. 4:06 remaining in regulation. This is a critical drive. Points could essentially seal it.
I'd expect you're going to Connolly here. I mean, I know you're going to Connolly. One thing we haven't seen a lot of is Gavin Garcia running. We saw it a lot early. It's not like he was doing it poorly. Here come the boos again.
It's hard to bet on consistency week to week because Gavin Garcia rushed for 4 touchdowns against TCA.
And Nick Colgate in his first year is having a good conference that ends in the clock staying at 4:06. And you're right. I mean, of course, Weber had a long touchdown run in the playoff game last year. And what was his last touchdown? And it was off of one of those design keepers. Now, Garcia is not Weber, but he's got the legs.
Connolly, as per usual, in the backfield. And they pitch it to Randall. Connolly, a good block, but Randall engulfed at the 40. No gain on 1st and 15.
Again, Cash Randall is struggling today. It's been rough. We've seen it a couple weeks where he just is not moving the ball the way he wants to. They're holding on to a lead. It's close. Any of these outside runs just haven't worked today. You have to go inside and up the middle.
Now, Randall's been the big play hitter all year. Not today.
One thing to talk about, too, Moffat County only has 1 timeout remaining. That's going to be huge because Elizabeth can dwindle this clock down if they run it on every play to inside of 2 minutes.
Yeah, certainly some concerns for Moffat County with the clock now. 3:30 remaining, and a rush to Connolly goes nowhere. So 3rd and long comes up.
I'd run it. Can't believe I'm saying this, but I would run the ball.
Thirdly, yeah. 3rd and long. Expect to throw, but with the clock situation,
Yep.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take this clock down to as far as you can and put some trust in your defense. The secondary has been beat on 2 deep throws. Again, we saw the same thing against Kent Denver. Of course, we saw a good long field or a long extra point made from about 35 yards out. I mean, it's dead silent in here. I cannot hear him.
Timeout taken by Elizabeth.
Yep.
3rd and 12 will be talked over in a huddle.
I was going to say, too, I cannot hear really a peep anywhere minus the hill to our right. It's been silent. And Gavin Garcia, I'm sure, can feel the pressure right now. I'm sure these seniors, Lindsay, Mariscal, Angel, Xander, Connolly, Stone, Randall, they're all going to be out there in all likelihood on this play. You ran that fantastic fake punt. I would run the ball, get to, try to get to at least past midfield. If you're past midfield, you might want to go for it. I mean, it's aggressive, but you might. Now, if you don't get past midfield, punt by all means, but
everything these 12 seniors have worked towards and the entire team in the balance with 2:36 remaining.
So many
3rd and 12.
So many different stories, so many storylines, not just the seniors, but the underclassmen who are just now starting. Burdick's in there as well. And here we go. This could be the game.
They will intelligently put it on the ground. Garcia with a great keep.
He's got to
But
stay
he's
in.
escorted
No,
out of bounds, and the clock will stop. That's a big mental error from Garcia.
Well, not only that, but he had nowhere to go, because had he taken a hit inbounds, he's risking fumbling. So I understand why he went out. I don't understand going, you're on the left hash mark, why are you running plays to the left if you're trying to keep the clock moving?
So the whole purpose of running the ball is wiped out.
Yeah, I mean, that's a free 40 seconds gifted to the Bulldogs right now. Instead, it could come down to a field goal.
High snap, Connolly this time. Plenty of time to get it away, and that's over the head of Carlson into the back of the end zone.
Might come right down to a field goal. Field goal range right now. would be at about the 19-yard line.
This could be a legacy drive for Evan Beaver.
And all he needs is 61 yards. And for this defense, too. This is the first time they've allowed over 17 points all season.
Beaver has led Moffat County to a 7-2 record and a playoff berth in his first year, taking over the sole responsibility of starting quarterback. Back to throw this time, complete to Carlson over the middle. Carlson has a pickup of 13 on 1st and 10.
Man, I mean, Carlson, if he breaks that, there's not a whole lot of space out there defensively. So that was a great tackle by Connolly, and here comes the hurry up. Defense needs to be ready for a potential deep pass right here. Lindsay, Francis, Tupin, Mariscal all have to be on it.
Empty set for Beaver. Quick throw, it's completed for a pickup of 3.
Wow. Or you go short, and then right away are those stout linebackers. Under 2 minutes to go, here comes the hurry up. One timeout, 2.
We'll see when they use that timeout.
Yep.
Low snap, Beaver pressure, dances away from it. Beaver gets the outside, he's out of bounds, and he's near a first down.
He's on the stick, so I think he's going to be like a half-yard shy. Good thing is he stopped the clock. But, I mean, I don't know. We said that it might come down to a field goal.
It certainly could, and Moffat County have a very capable kicker in Paul Dorworth.
So much on the line. 3rd and 1.
Again, Beaver back to throw. Pressure coming. Beaver steps up. He'll use his legs, and he'll get out of bounds. Picks up the first down on 3rd and 1 with a sizable run.
Well, I think they played some deep containment there just to make sure nothing got beat deep, because we know that that's a very real thing. McCray with the tackle. That's how far back we are. And I don't see Tupin on the field.
And Elizabeth will take a timeout. Moffat County at the Elizabeth 45. It's 1st and 10 with 1:35 remaining.
Again, everything these guys have worked for. We're not Moffat County historians, but you put it into perspective. Not winning a playoff game in 2004 over Pueblo County.
Had a couple stretches, 2005 to 2013 and 2016 to 2018. They did not find themselves in the playoffs. Recently upset as a 5 seed against University in 2021, looking to pull off the upset this time.
And again, Elizabeth with the chance of having Cooper Connolly, Cash Randall, Ethan Stone, Riken Angel, Jackson Zander, Malachi Mariscal. The list goes on for all 4 years and nothing to show for it. I mean, this is more than just football.
Greg Brinkworth hyping up the crowd on the sideline as he takes a break. Evan Beaver, 5 receivers out wide.
Biggest 95 seconds.
Beaver, lots of time, rolls out, fires down the field, completes it to, that was Hudson Jones, who's had a few receptions late.
Clock's running, puts them at the 31. A first down would put them in potential range. Here we go. The sticks are taking a while to get up, so the clock's going to be stopped for a moment. Got to go deep.
It's running again now. Beaver is not going to escape it. Now he does. Beaver got away. Fires down the field. It's over the head, through the hands of Brian Carlson.
A flag is down. There were so many chances to bring down Beaver, and we've got a Cardinal down on the field. Trying to see who that is. It's one of the D linemen that missed on the sack there. And is it? It might be Angel.
Crowd goes silent for the moment.
I mean, he is one of the best linemen, if not the best. He's provided so many key blocks. Defensively, same kind of thing. He's able to swallow up these inside plays. This would be huge. Even bigger because the Cardinals don't have much depth on the defensive line. They called it an illegal forward pass, and
5-yard penalty, loss of
so you stop the clock. Beaver right now.
That's a, by the way, big penalty. Loss of 5 and loss of downs. And you mentioned Beaver showing on this drive his ability to extend plays. He's used his legs, almost completed a great pass to Carlson along the sideline there. Just couldn't bring him down where the defensive lineman for Elizabeth, as Riken Angel holds his right arm and steps off the field.
We've seen Burdick getting reps at the end. He's not in here. They're going to have 3 on the defensive line. And it looks like Randall is also going to be playing the end.
2nd and 15. Again, 5 receivers out wide for Moffat County. Beaver steps up. This time he lost it. He fumbled. And Moffat County able to jump back onto it.
But the clock's going to keep running. So one timeout for Moffat County. They're not going to call it yet. We're inside a minute to go. A first down would end it. Here we go. 3rd and long. And Ian Champ Hafey has to be the guy you're looking for. Put 3 on him.
So they'll save the timeout for a potential 4th down. And Beaver is sacked at the 40-yard line. 4th and long coming up. Beaver's going to use the timeout. What a play up front by Elizabeth.
Say hello to Drake Brinkworth. Say hello to Caden Long. Caden Long is credited with the sack. That's his 5th of the season. Brinkworth, his 1st of the year. And here we go. Timeout, 4th down. It's all down to this.
Wow, the defensive line coming up big on a couple plays in this late drive for Moffat County.
Ian Hafey has been dead silent most of this second half.
They bring down Beaver twice, on 2nd and 15 and then on 3rd and 15. And so now 4th and 19. And the game on the line for Moffat County, season on the line.
What I was going to mention, too, is this 4th down. Hafey was streaking, and because they sent in enough pressure to bring down Beaver, he couldn't see him.
This is the ball game here, folks. Let's go Cardinals.
It'll correction now, 4th and 20. Wow. Moffat County burned their final timeout to keep themselves alive.
You got to get 20 yards to not only get a first down, but get in field goal range as well. So it's all down to this.
Beaver back to throw. Steps into one. Beaver lofting it down the sideline, looking for Carlson. It is caught, tied up in the end zone.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Are you kidding? They're not going to call
Let's
it
see
yet.
who got it. And touchdown! Carlson with the grab of his life. What a throw by Beaver. And Moffat County jubilation on the sideline with 30 seconds remaining. Unbelievable finish in Elizabeth.
Malachi Mariscal on all fours. Cannot believe it.
He took a shot in isolation with Carlson and Mariscal, and Carlson came up with it, the senior play of his career.
9 times out of 10, they win that jump ball battle. Here we go. So, no timeouts, 30 seconds left. I mean, you don't hit a deep ball, it's over. It's over.
Talk about polarizing plays. You go from back-to-back sacks to a miraculous heave that scores for Moffat County. And now the extra point to make it a 5-point game.
Unreal.
Elizabeth is also out of timeouts. They will have 30 seconds to figure something out.
And Mariscal will kick himself for a long, long time for that. And you know what? He shouldn't. I know he got beat, but he shouldn't. The coverage could not have been much better. He just could not win a jump ball battle against a guy who's 6 feet tall.
It's simply a great play in a clutch situation by Brian Carlson. And how about Beaver giving his receiver a chance? Some big plays by Beaver throwing down the stretch.
And it is just everyone on the right-hand side is stunned. And of course, they're going for 2 as well. The play clock should be out by now.
Kenny Frederickson rushing onto the field.
Just to make it a 6-point game.
2-point conversion will end in a sack as Beaver was engulfed. So here we go. Moffat County will kick it away with 30.2 exactly on the clock.
And I'll say this. We have seen just about everything happen. In the words of Kevin Garnett, anything's possible. Wow.
And
all the emotion.
while we catch our breath, I want to thank the weather. 61 degrees, minimal wind, sunny. It's been a great day for a playoff game.
And the good thing is, too, it's played a factor in this game. We have seen so many plays hit because we've got quality weather. And I mean, there are so many missed opportunities to look back on. The interception at the end of the first half, running back or running out of bounds that would have, saved time, that would have had the game over by now. The big sacks, of course, the missed jump ball is the straw that breaks the camel's back, but it's not the first straw.
With 30 seconds to play, Elizabeth stares down defeat in their second consecutive playoff game, which they have hosted.
And the playoff game they hosted in 2021, when they finally got back in the mix, got smoked by Eaton in a game they weren't even in to begin with. This one, they had all the momentum. They were up by 2 scores.
Beaver with a short kick. They want them to return. Elijah Angerman across the 50. Decent return for Elizabeth.
That's a good return. Why did they pop it up like that?
Not sure. They've given Elizabeth a gasp. And that final gasp will be on the shoulders of Gavin Garcia. So maybe one big chunk play down the field. You take a stop the clock and then take another shot.
Yeah, that jump ball I want to mention too was Lindsay, who was beat on. And the reason I'm mentioning it is because if there's any time for divine intervention, you target him. You target him.
Lindsay is lined up isolation with Brian Carlson, who made the catch. Garcia rolling downfield, diving catch by Malachi Mariscal. What a grab, diving effort by the senior.
Clock's going to be stopped for a
Clock will
second.
stop momentarily. That gives him time to get set.
Whoa, what a catch. One-handed diving.
Malachi hands a lifeline to Elizabeth. Great throw by Garcia. Clock running now.
Got to get it off. Gavin's got to hurry up. He can't see the clock.
They won't have time to take a stop the clock. They have to take it to the end zone. Lofted over the head of Stone, and the clock will stop at 6.7.
So this is your last play. I mean, this is your last play. There's a flag down.
So Garcia almost could not have completed that. He could not have completed that. If it was caught, the game would have ended.
It was a good time bringing up a desperation heave, and it was close, too.
Yeah, Stone just not deep enough. And
sorry to interrupt you. I've been saving this all season. I've asked Gavin Garcia, what's the farthest you can throw in game? 50 yards.
This throw would have to be 37. And we'll see how the protection works out for Garcia as well.
Here it is. Everybody's got to be going towards the center of the field. Mariscal's the lone guy on the far side. He's got speed.
Moffat County rushes 4. Garcia lofting to the end zone. It's short and over the head of Malachi Mariscal. Dyson Lindsay there as well.
I mean, he had a chance. There was some sort of breakaway there.
Sorry to interrupt, but there is still time on the clock here. 2 seconds, and they'll get one more heave.
I was just about to say it. Lindsay, I can't imagine what's going through his head. And my apologies to Mariscal for saying it was he who got beat. But Dyson Lindsay, just so many, great moments. And here we go.
They targeted Lindsay on the previous heave.
Same play.
We'll see where they go this time. This is it. Final play of regulation. Elizabeth. Gavin Garcia hit as he throws. It's intercepted. Frederickson comes away with it.
Why is he running?
And Frederickson will outrun everyone, including Connolly, and score. Pick 6 Frederickson, and Moffat County is on to the quarterfinals.
I am stunned. I am stunned. Everything they worked for, everything that happened, that could have happened, that didn't happen, and that's how it ends.
Garcia took a shot on that 3rd and 15 heave attempt. Frederickson took it the entire way, and we finish with a final score of 31-21. Moffat County has won their first playoff game in 19 years, and they will head to Berthoud for the quarterfinals.
And the miracle season for the Cardinals, the one where they thought, this is when we finally move. will come to a close in the most devastating, heartbreaking way possible. I'm shocked.
Shocking ending. Moffat County, desperation heave, caught by Brian Carlson, fighting with it against Dyson Lindsay and Elizabeth, who were given 30 seconds to try to answer, could not.
They had a chance. I mean, so many chances that came up short. And Evan Beaver, I'm sure the greatest moment he's seen.
Elizabeth outscored 18-6 in the second half.
And something to note, too, as I had mentioned, as we showed on the graphic, the impact player being the entire team, it was a team effort, despite the loss. On the graphic, they had 401 yards last week on the ground. They could not get almost anything going in the second half on the ground. On the graphic, it said they hadn't allowed over 17 points all season. They just allowed 31. But it's not over. And I'll say this. In a season that has been full of drama, angst, desperation, it's fitting that this is how it ends. Even if it's not a win, it's fitting.
Yeah, so many great memories from this season,
Yes.
great plays that we will get into eventually. But Moffat County, embraced by their sizable support.
Yeah. And congratulations to Moffat County. I mean, that was stunning. But right now, it's an Elizabeth broadcast. It's fitting to talk about Elizabeth. It's fitting to talk about everything they've done for this school.
Yeah, Moffat County, 4 consecutive
Yep.
years of first-round exits. They break the streak
Yep.
in 2023, and Berthoud awaits.
And what a thrilling win for them. Moffat County just stunning. On the other side of the ball, though, you know, you look at these big names. Cooper Connolly was a godsend to this football team. He was a day one starter. He led in rushing all 4 years of his high school career. Ethan Stone, last year had 600 on the ground, 151 through the air. This year, not the same production, but it's not to say that his play has faltered, because I think if anything, it's improved. He's become that kind of a player. Malachi Mariscal has been a surefire starter for a while. Really took over the spot that Cody Wade held for a long time, and Mariscal now, of course, looking in the eyes of defeat, but he's the guy who made the biggest plays this year. Some of the best plays I think we've seen at the high school football were made by him. Cash Randall. I mean, all the D1 offers, all the talk, and at heart, he is truly a sensational athlete and an even better person.
Yeah, just a well-built football player,
Yep.
Cash Randall.
It's a heartbreaker. And you look at, I mean, the guys up front, Riken Angel, Jackson Zander have put in so much work, day in, day out. The burn. Angel burning his x-rays from an injury he had sustained a couple years ago, saying, I think I'm finally over the hump. And I think he was. You know, on the other side of the ball, Jake Burdick, who didn't get the playing time, but was still very much a piece of this team. Trenton Miller, same situation. He had an interception this season. Dyson Lindsay, who came in for the first time this year, and I know he'll be kicking himself harder than anyone else has or will kick themselves to continue. But it's for good reason.
And
Because
several of those players
Yep.
kneeled down, laying down. Levi Lawrence consoling one of his teammates. Cash Randall at the 27-yard line, just running all the memories through his head and all the things that were left out on the field today.
Lindsay, of course, a little bit of a consoling conversation right now. And it's not on him. It's not.
It's certainly not. And
He was keeping them in these big games. You look at University, he caught the touchdown that busted the door open and really was the deciding factor, because after that came the big safety and Elizabeth won by 9. Had those two plays not happened, that wouldn't have happened. It teed off because of the play of the year. Malachi Mariscal's pick 6. The 99-yarder. I mean, there were so many stories, so many takeaways, and here's how it ended.
yeah, the pick 6 was brilliant for Malachi. Then, of course, Gavin last week with his 4 touchdowns on his birthday. And Cash had some great runs as well.
Yeah, Garcia and Randall, too. and Connolly and these big rushers would have these breakout games and these breakaway games where you see them scoring 3-4 touchdowns. So a week ago, you're like, maybe they're gone. You know, they only run for 45, 50 yards. The next game, they score 4 touchdowns. And they were winning these games decidedly. They cannot kick themselves over this loss because this was, put simply, one of the best displays of effort and hope we've seen all season, and personally, I've ever seen. I've watched a lot of football. It's hard to see a team who's put forth more work and more energy and more passion and emotion than this one.
Yeah, even worse, noting what happened last year in the playoffs, falling short. You felt they were going to make a different statement this year, but they fall short. Some miraculous plays by Moffat County, but I want to track back to Malachi, who plays such a big role on this team, especially on special teams. Had a great year kicking, had a punt return as well.
And I want to mention this, too. A lot of people out there who are watching this game don't know these players. They don't know the effort they put in. We had the blessing to follow them all season, game in, game out. See what they did in practice, see what they did leading up to the game, their mentality, the way they acted, and we wouldn't have wanted to do it to a much better team. It's a fantastic group of individuals, a great group of kids. And despite the loss, and this game aside, they deserve everything that's happened this year.
You think of all the hours in the weight room, outside, running plays, running hills at times. It's a shame that they could not pull out a win here, but you have to commend the effort and the successful season they had.
And it's not the last we've seen of them. I know these seniors, they think, it's over. It's not. Obviously, football season's done for in the most dramatic, heartbreaking fashion that I don't think even we could have thought would have happened, especially going into this game. It's 9-0 in the first quarter. You know, we think, here we go. It's going to be another Elizabeth game, and we'll get ready for Berthoud. And, I mean, you can see the tears almost from here. You know, the emotion and passion just deflates one final time.
Yes, 15-0 lead. And they were outscored 31-6 the rest of the way. Just could not stay consistent in this playoff game against Moffat County.
And on the other side, because I know we have a responsibility to talk about Moffat County, what a showing. I mean, another just legacy game for them that's been kind of on a wing and a prayer all season, or wing and a prayer. It's a fantastic win for them. That last play will be etched in the lore of Moffat County High School football. And of course, on the other side, the new era starts to usher in. Griffin Widhelm's in at quarterback. The offensive line will stay relatively the same. Receivers will look way different. You'll see maybe Blanchard, maybe Brown, maybe McCray at running back. It's one big play.
And for Moffat County, the long drive out here ends in celebration, and they'll have another long drive to Berthoud in the coming week.
Yeah, it's a fantastic one for them. It's a thrilling one for them. But this isn't the end of Elizabeth football. I know that a lot of people think, it's going to be different next year, and of course we won't even know what it's going to be next year. And it will to an extent, but I think the moment you're down is the best moment to get back up. And this is about as down as you can go. And it makes sense. But if there's any chance next year, the year after, to say we're proving everybody wrong, this was the catalyst.
Such an immensely talented class of seniors that took over for the seniors who left last year and made a statement. They won games by a lot. They beat good teams, but such a difficult way for it to end.
Yeah, I hate to keep, interrupting and going on my soapbox here, Sap story, but it's wild. We talked a little bit about this was the first broadcast last year was the playoff game last year, and at the end of it, I talked to Lincoln Glazebrook. I said, is this the end or is it the start of something more? He said, something along the lines of nothing's really going to end. Even when it feels like it's over, you're going to start to do more. Even if it feels like it's over, even if it feels like this is one of the most talented classes you've ever had, and they couldn't do much in the postseason. So what? I mean, that's one game. 3 big losses do not atone for the dozens of fantastic wins that we've had the pleasure of seeing on the sidelines, in the stands, and up here in the box.
It has been a pleasure working with you on these games,
Yes.
Avery. You're a lot more adept in calling football, but just a great season, so many great moments through the cold, through the heat, through the wind,
I mean,
and of course now, sorry to interrupt there, but
no, you're good.
we look ahead to basketball. That's
Yes.
what's next for these seniors. Many of the seniors play basketball, notably Cooper Connolly.
I was going to say 4 of the 5 starting seniors will be in the starting 5. The only one who's not will be Caleb Dunn, who I can't wait to see play basketball again. And we're going to see Cooper Connolly do what Cooper Connolly did last year, just maybe on a higher level. Dyson Lindsay has, I know, worked on his shooting so much, and he is such a great shooter. He's your outside guy. You know, on the inside, you still got a lot of options. You'll see Brinkworth, Stone, Tupin all filling in there. So it's not over. Even if the football season's over, we've got a lot of athletics left.
Yeah, Caleb Dunn, who stepped away from football to stay healthy and focus on basketball as primary sport, will be a fun talent to watch. Him alongside Lindsay and his other fellow seniors.
Yeah, I think there's one thing left to say before we finally sign off, and that's the work that they put in will not be forgotten. Sure, the loss you would love to forget. You won't, but you would love to. But that's how sports work. You know that? I know that. It's different when you're doing it at what feels like such a high scale, because not like all eyes are on you. You're not getting 10,000 plus people, you know, every day watching you. But you are getting a big group of people who know your every move, and you have to do it in a set system. Now, if you don't like that system, too bad. But I think the system that Elizabeth played in, not just play calling wise, but I mean style of play and these players, is something that will be etched in this lore of Elizabeth High School football for a long time.
No doubt. And thank you for joining us on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. Elizabeth falls short in the first round, 31-21 to Moffat County. Quarterfinals next week. Elizabeth will not be a part of them. We shift our focus to basketball. Avery and myself will be calling those games, both girls and boys. Tune in for that through the festive winter months, and then of course the dead January and February months. As for Sam Johnson, Avery Getchie, thank you so much for joining us throughout this football season, and today Elizabeth falls short in the first round.